I'm a fish boy who skates for Team X Blades with a leprechaun who plays basketball. Come to my smart house, meet my alien sister. Don't come hungry because I'll bet my mom can't cook.
Hello and welcome to Mom Can't Cook, a Decom podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Luke Westaway.
And I'm the other host, Andy Farron. Welcome to the show. Luke, you know how I've been IMing with this guy?
Yeah?
Big Bob I, he's called.
Yes.
Yeah, you remember?
Yeah, Big Bob I have been a little concerned about the way that, about how frequently and how enthusiastically you're IMing with anonymous strangers online.
Well,
you're only a boy.
I know, but it's the information superhighway, isn't it? I've entered the cyber age,
sure.
Luke.
You have, yes. You're a new Andy for the Skype generation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You should catch up, you Luddite. I'm IMing all sorts of strange men.
Maybe I should begin doing that.
Yeah, you should. But so this guy, Big Bob I, that I've been IMing. It turns out, right? Don't tell anyone this; it's a secret.
Okay.
But it turns out he's actually the CEO of Disney, Bob Iger.
What? Really? No
I
way.
know. He's the president of Disney, and I've been giving him all kinds of advice because he's how he's all like stuffy and uptight, and
he is.
Just
he
like
can't relate to
up. Yeah.
He can't relate to the average park goer, can he?
To the average park goer like me. So I've just been sort of just saying things, and he's been doing them. So I was like, oh, you should do live action remakes of all your old films for no reason.
Why'd you say that?
I don't know. I was just saying stuff, wasn't I?
Okay.
I didn't think he'd actually do it.
Well, he did.
Yeah, he did. I told him to make the theme parks as expensive as possible as a joke.
Right.
And he went and did that as well.
Tell me you didn't tell him to do Genie Pass or whatever it's called.
Oh, yeah. I said Genie Pass all the way, mate. And he went and did it. Elio. That was my idea.
Elio. Wait, hang on. It was your idea to do an unsuccessful Pixar film? Brackets, yeah. I haven't seen it. Or it was your idea to do a film about a boy who goes into space or whatever the film's about?
Both. I said, hey, Big Bob I, why don't you make a bad film about a boy who goes in space or whatever? And he only went and did it.
Yeah, and he went and did it. Oh, my gosh. So hang on. Did you cast Will Smith as the genie?
You know it. I IM'd as a joke. It was 2 a.m.
Yeah.
He was like, you up? And I was like, yeah, cast Will Smith as the genie. And he did it.
And he actioned it.
He actually did it.
Okay, well, I think it's only fitting, Andy, that right now you IM this mysterious Big Bob I and tell him resign.
Okay, I will. Oh, okay. It turns out he has already been replaced by Josh D'Amaro.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Hang on. I'm just getting a message from Big Josh.
What does he want?
Well, hang on. I think I know what this is. I'll tell Big Josh, stop doing the live action remakes. Oh, no, he sent me a picture. I don't think this is the same Josh.
Okay, different right, Big Josh.
No,
all right.
Yeah, no, I'm closing that down. Yeah, closing that tab. Right.
Anyway, what are we talking about today?
We're talking about Mail to the Chief, a year 2000s movie that is a wonderful time capsule, both to an age when like politics was more, I don't want to say good, but like serene, maybe.
Yeah. Understandable.
Sort of, predictable feels like the right word, maybe.
Yes, and the president's actions would be sort of tempered by how people perceived them, things like that.
Yes, halcyon days.
Yeah.
The other thing about this movie is that it dates from an era where internet safety was a fun idea.
Yeah, a fun new idea.
It is. I mean, in terms of like, what did we talk? Okay, so on our bonus podcast, Erie, Indiana, that show is from 1991, and it's a kids show that shows children doing all sorts of incredibly dangerous things all the time.
Yes, you know this if you've listened to the bonus podcast, but one of the more recent episodes that we did had one of the characters barrel the camera and tell children to live fast, die young, and leave a good-looking corpse.
Yeah, it's pretty intense. But I have seen nothing in Erie, Indiana that is as bad, copyable, repeatable behavior. Like Mail to the Chief should be taken offline in every form. just sort of out of an abundance of caution, because no child should see this film. It's unbelievable how unsafely this kid cruises the web.
Yeah,
it's nuts.
Well, it was a pretty new technology at the time. No one really knew what it was, and parents, I think, probably couldn't be bothered to learn how to protect their children on it because it's a new thing, isn't it?
It's
a new thing. It's a flash in the pan.
Yeah.
You know, the next thing will be holograms next.
Yeah,
and then I've got to learn how to safeguard them from holograms.
Yeah, I'm going to get ahead of the curve and start learning how to safeguard
children from holograms.
Children from holograms.
I'm going to buy one of those anti-hologram lasers, and then, I'll keep it in the gun safe so kids won't be able to get it, but I'll know where it is.
Exactly. Perfect. Oh boy. Okay, right. Should we hear the trailer?
Yeah, let's hear the trailer.
He's only a click away from the president. Be sure to watch Disney Channel's premiere of Mail to the Chief next Tuesday at 8/7 Central, part of the Election Selections Marathon, right here on Disney Channel.
Do you have any notes up top for this one, Andy?
It's a frustrating watch, this film. And it's structured in a really annoying way where there are a bunch of extremely short scenes. We've had a couple of movies like this, but this is, I think, maybe the most egregious one. Mm-hmm. You'll have scenes that last for literally 5 seconds, and then it'll cut to another scene, and then it'll cut to another scene, and it's like whiplash. It's really hard to focus on what's going on.
Yeah, in any other film, it would have like 2 or 3 scenes that happen one after the other. But in this one, it's like each one has been put through a paper shredder, and then the shredded pieces sort of overlaid and interlocked. It's like a lenticular film.
Yeah,
like if you look at it slightly from the left, you get one. Yeah, so you're kind of basically getting sort of a sensory overload of 2 scenes at the same time, but it's cutting back and forth between them so rapidly that you can kind of see both. Yeah, it's really overwhelming and it's annoying to recap. And I think they've done it because both of the individual scenes in question are so boring.
So they've tried to give it some interest by cutting back and forth. Yeah.
Make it feel a bit more kinetic. I don't know.
Just sort of confusing and bad.
I think this film, it's ironic that this film seems to have been made with nothing but contempt for the average American voter, which I think is interesting, because the message of the film ostensibly is about like, hey, look, kids, politics is more interesting than you think. Why don't you engage with the process?
Yeah.
But like all the way through, this kid helps the president talk like a normal person and therefore win the presidency. But it never ever engages with policies. And there's one moment where you do hear this president's policies and they're awful.
They're very bad. Yeah. But also crucially, the president doesn't learn to talk like a regular American. He just repeats what he's told about. He doesn't learn anything or change in any way. So
yeah. Exactly. It does treat the voting population as it's astonishing. In this movie, there are dozens of scenes where someone will say like 5 words and then everyone will burst into rapturous applause, like over and over and over again. And it portrays sort of voters as like sort of mindless sheep who will be won over by like a reference to a game show they like. And it's like, hey, why don't you do that? And then you can win politics. That's not engaging with politics because there's no policy involved. It's just like, hey, here's how to sort of trick people.
Here's how to trick people into voting for you because they're mindless simpletons who just like the boob tube and pretzels and pork rinds and beer.
Is it possible that Mail to the Chief was the blueprint for alt-right populism?
The turning point.
The turning point.
I mean, yeah, it could
have been. Is it possible that some people saw this and were like, oh, why don't we sort of just like tell people what they want to hear with a load of like game show references and sort of like lazy platitudes?
Yeah, and then we could get a game show host to be president.
Yeah, that could
work.
Oh my God. Okay, right. Mail to the Chief.
Yeah.
You have a lot to answer for.
Yeah.
Let's go.
So we open on a kid at school. He goes to his locker. He takes his books out. He looks across at a girl. This is Kenny, our protagonist. Another boy called Mike walks up and says, "Summer was good to Heather. She could pass for 9th grade easy," says Kenny. This is a sort of dying trope from, I think, the 80s where you just had horny kids in movies.
Yeah, just so horny all the time.
Not really a thing anymore.
Not really. I think everyone's realised that it's not good to start your film with your 2 protagonists being horny and weird. Summer was good to Heather. This is it's Mike is the creepy nerd friend. Yeah, we cut to a classroom. Kenny's civics teacher is talking about how lucky they are to be in an election year and to witness the greatest spectacle in the history of democratic governments, the choosing of the American president. All right. He glazes the election process for ages.
He just waxes rhapsodic about American elections and how great they are and how they inspire the people to elect him as leader of the free world, etc.
Yeah.
Kenny is sitting there enraptured by this. But as the camera pulls out, we see he's not actually engrossed by this America glazing, but rather by Heather, who is sat in front of him.
Yeah. He's actually not engaged with politics.
He's actually horny.
Yeah. We dramatically cut to stock aerial footage of the White House.
Yeah.
Now, what happens next is an unthinkable choice.
So we see inside the White House. We hear a gunshot.
A loud, brutal gunshot.
A loud gunshot. A staffer remarks that the founding fathers might have built the White House in a better neighborhood.
Whoa.
Okay. Another staffer remarks that if the president wins re-election, they'll talk about moving the capital to the Hamptons, and everyone laughs like this would be an insane thing for the president of the United States to do. The president walks in. It's Randy Quaid from Randy Quaid. He's looking at his speech. Nice writing, Gene, he says. We sure this is it? I don't want to go out there and make a mistake. I've written, so we're not going to explain the gunshot?
No, it looks like no. The gunshot, I think it's a problem with the sound mix, right? I think maybe when this was written down on this, it was intended to be a sort of like distant gunshot, as if to imply that Washington is a dangerous town.
But what they've done is they've played gunshot.wav
yes, okay.
in the room.
You know Paper Planes by MIA? It's like that. It's like that exact gunshot at that exact volume. It's like this is surely someone is firing a gun on the lawn of the White House. Like,
this is like Scramble the Secret Service. There's a man with a gun in the White House.
Yeah, right. So it's President A. Thornton Osgood III, a.k.a. Randy Quaid, President Osgood.
Yeah.
So he's been going over a speech. He tells one of his aides that it's nice writing, and this robotic lickspittle yes man tells him, polling data suggests that this speech covers 82% of the concerns of working-class Americans within $6,000 of the median family income.
Yeah. Every vote counts in an election year, says the president. There is another loud gunshot.
From just outside
the window.
Yeah.
Even his, says the president, and they all laugh. And the scene ends. Who was firing a gun?
Who fired 2 shots in the White House?
Someone's methodically making their way down the hallway, killing Secret Service agents on their way to the president, and everyone's all chuckling and making jokes.
Oh my word! It's nuts. It's absolutely it's absolutely crazy.
They've done this. I can't imagine why they would do this.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway,
imagine firing a gun within earshot of the White House and not being immediately killed.
It's definitely a sort of like pistol shot. And again, it's definitely just outside the window.
Yeah.
This film's on YouTube. Go and just watch the first sort of like 45 seconds. It's nuts. And the president's like,
Even gun-wielding maniacs.
the man combat rolling through the window right now.
Even the man walking through the White House like the Terminator in the police station scene. Even his vote counts.
Okay.
So we cut to Kenny's house. His friend Mike from earlier is over for computer. His dad tried to reformat a disk and he erased the hard drive. Kenny scoffs. When will parents learn? A computer is not a toy.
If you erase the hard drive, you have reformatted a disk bracket. So anyway, he's blagged Kenny a copy of Mortal Karnage, the deluxe CD-ROM version, as a sort of incentive to come over and fix his dad's computer.
Yeah.
Then Kenny's dad breezes in with a great big bowl of Cheez-Its. He is a normal, average American.
He's a normal, average American sitting down to watch TV with what I estimate to be 2 family-sized bags of cheese puffs.
He asks Kenny about his new Orioles jersey.
Jacket.
Oh, sorry, jacket, yeah. I've got brackets question mark here, but it is going to be explained.
Yeah.
Then Dad turns on the TV and he asks Kenny to turn down that bleeping computer. I'm cruising the net, Dad, Kenny reasonably explains.
In flawless leet speak.
Yeah, at least turn the game down a bit, says Dad. It's not a game, says Kenny. Our civics class is meeting on the internet to discuss the debate live as it happens. Dad doesn't care about this. He says he's, like a normal American, he's excited to watch Home Improvement.
We learn that it's the one where Tim and Jill have a disagreement about his tools. This is weird because usually in these sorts of films, they're very non-specific about stuff like pop culture. But this film is absolutely full of specific references to things.
Yeah.
Like Home Improvement, the band Garbage, other things like that.
Yeah, it's Sorry, I was just laughing about the band Garbage. Yeah, it is odd. I think it's the wonderful world of Disney difference, you know?
I mean, Home Improvement was on ABC, right? Which is a Disney network.
Yeah, I guess it was all, you know, sort of tied up.
And we all agreed in the year 2000 that Home Improvement was the finest show on television.
Yeah, the best show ever.
We were all
but
going
Dad
around
is
to each other, weren't we?
Yeah, we were, and saying I like the one where they disagree about his tool or something. Yeah. But Dad
the
is
only
annoyed.
way you could address things like erectile dysfunction in primetime television. You had to sort of couch it in like veiled references to tools, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. But we all knew what it was about, and it healed America.
I want to sit down with you on the end of the bed here
And have a very special episode.
a very, very special discussion.
We talk about how your tools don't work as well as they used to. No, Tim.
No, Tim, not now.
No, we need to have you can't just grunt. We need to have a proper discussion about this.
We need to face this head on. But anyway, Dad is cross because Home Improvement has been cut for the presidential debate, which he doesn't care about because he's politically unengaged. Oh, for crying out loud, says Dad. Here we go. Another politician talking at me and not to me, like I'm just a number.
Yeah, he's unimpressed by politics. We learn that he doesn't vote. The debate is between President A. Thornton Osgood III and Senator Alan Harris. President Osgood starts talking to the American middle class. He says the problems you face are as exigent as they are amplitudinous, non-relatably.
Yeah. Dad rolls his eyes, disenfranchised. The president is speaking haltingly like this, using lengthy words.
Like exigent and amplitudinous.
How did he get elected the first time?
I don't know. There's quite a lot of problems with this film that are related to the fact that he is the sitting president. Such as his bold claims to change things, which are all his own policies. This
film could be much nicer and have a much better energy if the sitting president was an evil president and he was the good guy who had good radical, policies that would genuinely help America. His only problem was that he was, got stage fright and was shy and didn't know how to relate to normal Americans.
Yeah,
and then
he was kind of uptight and weird and like an Al Gore type, kind of stiff and weird.
Yeah, but they
had a bunch of good policies.
Yes, but they haven't done that, and I think it's because then they wouldn't have been able to set almost everything in the Oval Office.
Yes.
Which this film is determined to do.
They had the set for, presumably.
Yeah. So anyway, he's as the president is driven away from the debate, his snivelling team of yes men tell him that he nailed the demographics.
Yeah, really struck a chord with the average Joe, they say.
Oh dear, but at home we see that Dad has fallen asleep in his lazy boy recliner. Yeah.
He's eaten 3/4 of the cheese puffs and passed out.
passed out on his lazy boy, like a real American. Yeah. The boys discuss their evening in weird, halting dialogue because every line in this film is weird and halting.
I think next time I'd rather watch Home Improvement, says Mike, and they all agree that would be a better use of everyone's time. 7 p.m. Fridays, ABC.
No, that was weak.
I'll say.
What was the point of watching that?
I think next time I'd rather watch Home Improvement.
Agreed. That was boring. Mr. Campbell sure made it sound a lot more exciting than it actually was.
Yeah, neither one of them actually answered the questions.
I mean, could you imagine if we answered like that in a test? We'd flunk.
Next time, we play Mortal Carnage. Oh, what do you tell your parents about the jacket?
So this thing with the jacket, we cut straight to school and we see that a bully called Greg has taken Kenny's precious jacket. Kenny nervously asks if he can have it back. And Greg gets really close to him and says, you know what, I'm going to do you a big favour. I'm going to borrow your lunch and then maybe, just maybe, I'll forget about this whole thing, right?
Evil Greg takes the lunch and then his whole gang leave. And as they leave, they all simultaneously hike up their Jinko jeans, which feels like a very specific jab from a 55-year-old screenwriter to the youth of today.
Yeah, a biting satire on new metal fashion. But
take that, my son's friends.
In this film where I'm trying to get you to engage with politics.
So at lunch, the boys sit...
Take that, my son's friend.
So...
Sorry.
They'll be watching this, I'm sure.
Every people love their sons.
Yeah.
But they hate their sons' friends.
Their son's friends because they're always wearing Jenkos, and now my son wants Jenkos. So at lunch, the boys sit with a couple of others who are discussing school politics. A student called Matthew Cox has won every class election since 3rd grade, and he spent more on his campaign than the mayor. Why don't you run, Kenny, says one of them. I don't have what it takes, says Kenny. An indoor swimming pool and a dad who owns a go-kart track.
Yep. They talk about how this local political boy, Matthew Cox, is out of touch with the voters. So,
His
okay,
dad owns a go-kart track.
you're picking up on what the film's doing here. It's trying to set up a sort of parallel narrative where also child voters are disenfranchised and
By
disengaged.
out-of-touch children politicians.
But it doesn't work. It doesn't make sense as a sort of parallel narrative because again, our president in the film is the sitting president. Mm-hmm. So, like, it's different. You know what? It doesn't matter. We cut to the Oval Office.
Okay. Well, just before that, the girl Heather comes up and wants to talk to Kenny alone. So he leaves with her, and the dorks can't believe. Back with the president in the Oval Office, he is being set up on a computer. He hates this computer stuff, he says, but his aide says that he needs to be up to speed on the internet and online services so he can make an informed decision on the Zimmer bill.
The Zimmer bill. This sounds like it's going to be important. Yeah. So he's grumpy, but he sits down. He acts when he sits on his chair. There's already a transistor radio on his chair.
There's a weird radio on his chair that he finds.
Now, is it strange that the president that there can be a radio on the president's chair and no one?
Any kind of recording or transmitting device, yes.
That no one's noticed. But this radio belongs to his daughter, Madison, and in she walks right now. It's Elisha Cuthbert, a.k.a. Kim Bauer from 24.
Mm-hmm. I told you, don't play in the Oval Office. Go play in the Vice President's office, says the President.
Zing.
Dad, I'm 14. I wasn't playing, she says. I was waiting. We were supposed to talk about me going to the concert of the band Garbage.
Yeah, we're going to the Garbage concert. This is so funny to me. I really like Garbage. I think
Garbage,
they're a
good
great
band.
Yeah, great band. It's just so funny to hear that it referenced in a film like this.
I can exactly pinpoint the thought process the screenwriter went through here. They heard the band name Garbage and they were like, Garbage? For a band name? How outrageous. A band called Garbage.
People will think that your band is garbage.
It is garbage, but
it's a very risky move. A very big risk they're taking.
But obviously it's stuck in their heads. And they were like, yes, that's the band that I'll reference. So people think I'm cool and know the young bands. It'd be like a screenwriter now saying I'm off to the Baby No Money concert. Right? Because they're like, rappers usually talk about how they have lots of money, don't they? But this Baby No Money... seems to be bragging about the lack of money.
It's a very big risk.
It's a very risky move.
It's a very big gamble they're making here. I feel like this could backfire massively. I'll write to them and let them know.
I'll write to
Mr.
Big
risk you're taking.
Mr. No Money.
Dear
Mr. No Money. Have you considered being Baby Lots of Money?
I just hope you know what you're doing. I don't mean to tell you your business, but it's a very big risk.
I'm simply a 55-year-old screenwriter for the Walt Disney Company. But I know a thing or two about business.
Okay, so Madison wants to go to the Garbage concert, but Dad didn't make time to be with his daughter. He got hung up talking to the French president. He says, "Did you like his son, Francois?"
Yeah, and she says, no, he's a dork. Jeopardizing relations between France and the United States.
Yeah.
They'll take the Statue of Liberty back, Madison. So, watch your tone.
Think on.
Dad didn't make any time to think about whether she could go to the Garbage concert or not, so she can't.
Guess that's that. Madison protests that the speaker's letting his kids go. I don't care what the Democrats are doing, says Osgood, confirming that he is sort of representing the Republican Party. You're my daughter, he says. He tells her not to talk back. He gets enough of that in Congress. And you'll notice that every single thing this man says must reference the fact that he's president.
Yeah.
It's incredibly annoying. He's like, blah, 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 a normal sentence. Just like when I'm the president.
I am the president. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's not spending time with his daughter, who's out of touch with the people. He says, Madison, do you want to help me learn computers? She says no. And then he says, hey, instead of garbage, I've got John Tesh coming over next week. You can invite your friends in for a private concert. She rolls her eyes and leaves.
Yeah, withering disgust.
So, yeah, missing out on the chance to hear Roundball Rock played live in the Oval Office.
Yeah, that would be amazing. Yeah. So more aides pour in. It's bad news. 67% of Americans think you're out of touch with the average American. The aide hands the president a newspaper with a gigantic pie chart that confirms exactly that 67% of Americans think he's out of touch with the average American. Balderdash, he cries out of touchly. He says he once had a photo taken of him playing squash.
Like an average American would.
Like a normal American would. And they all shake their heads as if to say, my God, could this president be more out of touch?
Be more out of touch. Chandler Bing style, because it's the year 2000. At school, we learn that Heather asked Kenny to tutor her. He's very excited by this because it means time alone with Heather. And as we've established, he's horny. Mm-hmm. That's that scene. Yep. Back with the president. He is being shown fake pornography of Rosie O'Donnell by an aide.
Okay. Right. Okay, we're gonna need more run. We're gonna need more runway to sort of.
Sorry, that's quite the thing to spring on you.
No, well, I mean, but
the movie does
What you've done is that's what the movie does. Okay, so an aide is explaining this upcoming Zimmer bill, which is a technology-related bill, to the president. The bill would ban transmission of pictures from popular websites like this one. Now, the camera's behind the screen here, so we can't see what the president is looking at, but he stares for absolutely ages at an image, which I suppose we're to infer is pornography. He turns his head and he says, is that really Rosie O'Donnell? And the aide says, it's not her body, it's a computer-generated image.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah. So now you've got all the context that we have, and I think you'll agree that what Andy said is right. We cut to the president looking at deep fake pornography of Rosie O'Donnell.
Yeah, and that was that scene. We cut back to Kenny and Heather. He has set her up.
And to be clear, so the Zimmer bill that we've had mentioned twice now, what the Zimmer bill wants to do is outlaw, like...
images on the internet.
Well, I think it wants to okay, yeah, that's what we know. So it wants... Okay, you know what? We'll come back to it. There's going to be more information on the Zimmer bill, but not much. Back at home, Kenny's got Heather situated at his computer. Once this boots up, he says you'll be all set, and the family give him big thumbs up from around the corner, sort of sneakily and stealthily, because they can see he's talking to a girl and they're proud of him.
Yep, that was 4 seconds. We're back with the president. He's being taught how to use a mouse. That was that scene. Back with Kenny. He and Heather are doing the which one's the any key bit a mere 5 years after The Simpsons did it. But they add their own twist by making it go on for too long and become unfunny.
Yes, an interesting take. Then there's a reasonably good sight gag where the president's IT dude is getting increasingly visibly cross with the president, unable to learn computers, and two Secret Service agents reach for their guns. I think
they're going to have to shoot and kill this IT guy.
Shoot this IT guy before he lays hands on the president. Back in Kenny's house, Heather is at computers and she accidentally deletes Kenny's book report. Back with the president, the IT dude has been dismissed and the president is now free to cruise the web.
Yeah. He logs into a website called Worldwide Chat, written in a font you would expect to see on a box of chai tea or maybe a flyer for a yoga school.
He has the most amazing conversation with his aide, Catherine Horner. So he looks at the screen, Worldwide Chat. Who's this party man? Asks the president. Well, explains Horner, it could be anyone, sir. Anyone in the country. That's the thing about these chat rooms. You can use any screen name. Then you're free to join in, talk, post messages. You're completely anonymous. And Zimmer, he wants to regulate these chat rooms, asks the president. Not all of them, sir. Just the salacious ones, like this one, with a posting from Hot Hun.
Yeah. The president looks at Hot Hun's message and goes, oh, yes.
And then he says to Horner, but not all of them are sexual in nature, right? Absolutely not, says Horner. I can't believe this scene is still going on and that it is the way it is. Some of them are political. She clicks onto a political chat room where high-level online discourse is taking place. Example messages are, impeach Osgood. Osgood stinks. Osgood only cares about the rich.
What?
The president looks sad.
So the camera is zoomed in on the messages, but you can see on the very at the edge of the sidebar when a new person is posting messages, and there's only two. So one person has posted the following in succession.
Oh.
The election is getting close. How about Osgood last night in the debate? Osgood stinks. Impeach Osgood. Anybody but Osgood.
It's a bot.
So they've just typed that all themselves. Yeah.
It's just a bot, I think.
It's a bot.
Yeah. Okay, so the Zimmer bill is to outlaw online pornography.
It's to outlaw online pornography and also sexual chat rooms in worldwide chat.
Yeah.
On the president internet.
Yeah, on the president internet. Okay.
Which is different to the snake internet.
So the president looks sad because he's sort of seen below the line, below the fold of the internet for the first time. And it seems like people don't like him. Back at Kenny's house, he's showing Heather the school's website. Heather's eyes light up. She says this is where the teachers have copies of tests and answers.
Yeah, it's a pretty big assumption. I don't know why that would be the case, but...
Yeah, why on the school website would there be... Anyway. Yes, says Kenny.
The publicly accessible school website. We keep all of our tests in a secret locked area.
But we can't
get
into that part.
It's like a fun puzzle for the kids to try and solve.
Yeah, like an ARG.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we can't get into that part, says Kenny. Could someone really smart like you get into it, says Heather, batting her eyelashes.
Yeah.
Kenny's on the cusp of helping her cheat on her civics class in this way. But Kenny's torn. He says, I think it's a bad idea. We could get in trouble. And immediately, as soon as he said no, Heather storms off. She's cross. She's like, I gotta go. Bye. And he's like, no, Heather, come back. No.
Yeah. In bed that night, the president asks his sleeping wife if he only cares about the rich. She doesn't respond.
It must be so annoying. It's hard to imagine Obama waking Michelle to ask crap like this sort of at 4 a.m. Like, do you think I only care about the rich? No, Barack, go back to sleep.
I'm asleep. Yes.
Do you think I only care about the rich?
Yeah.
Back with Kenny. He's online attempting a hack because he's decided actually, despite what he said 30 seconds ago, he does want to hack the school website so that he can date Heather. It goes bleep. I did it, he says. A big message flashes up on screen. Warning! Faculty only, says the furious webpage.
Yeah. Kenny screams, I did it. And then his mum says, did what? And we see that she is standing like 2 feet away from him in a way that would be impossible to not see.
It must be quite annoying for teachers that every time they log on to the website that has the tests that they use, it goes, warning! Faculty only.
Faculty,
like,
I know.
Yes,
that's why I'm here.
That's why I'm here. Yeah.
That's why I am faculty.
Yeah. Okay. So Mum has like teleported in. Kenny frantically hides the window.
Yeah.
Like sort of minimises.
As if it's pornography of Rosie O'Donnell.
Yeah. Minimises the window. And he brings up nice innocent chat rooms.
Yeah.
Now, maybe at this point, you listening in 2026 are concerned at the extent to which this film promotes children using anonymous chat rooms. But in this clip, you're about to hear why it's actually all fine. Thanks to Kenny's bulletproof defense methods. Here we go.
Homework for my civics class. We're to get voter opinions about the debate in the chat rooms.
You know, I don't like you going into those chat rooms. You hear all these stories about people luring kids away from their homes.
I'm using Dad's screen name, Mom. Big Jack W. So people won't know it's me. Besides, this is just politics. These people aren't freaks, just boring. See this guy? Average Joe.
Yeah.
He wants to know what people thought of the president in the debate. I'm telling him that if he gave answers like that in school, he would flunk. Now he wants to know why. Because he never really answered the questions. He talked and talked, but didn't seem to say anything.
Oh, Joe seems to disagree, hon. He says the president did give answers.
A couple of times at best, Mom, but he didn't say how he would do it. He said he'd balance the budget, but how?
This is so choice. It's maybe my favourite conversation in the whole film.
Yeah. There's no way for a sexual deviant to go into a different chat room.
No. And there's no way for an online predator to get information out of someone that isn't contained in their username, is there?
No. I mean, Kenny will soon demonstrate why that's not true.
Yeah, but the film won't care. Mum, it's so funny. Kenny's like, Mother, your concern is laudable, but please, I'm talking to anonymous men online, unsupervised at night, under the pseudonym Big Jack W, a username that couldn't possibly be misconstrued or attract the wrong sort of attention.
I'm simply talking to them with the username Thick Jack W.
Big Jack W.
It's good. Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, Mum is appeased and is like, well, as long as you're using the pseudonym Big Jack W, I guess that's okay.
So, yeah, Kenny is like, there's no way they can find out that I'm a kid when I use the username Big Jack W.
Yeah.
And then he starts typing about the president. If I gave answers like that in school, they'd flunk me. Nice job maintaining the not a school kid persona, Kenny. First message.
Come on, Kenny.
But yeah, he starts talking to Average Joe. And it turns out that Average Joe is the president, in fact, who has logged on to this chat room to canvass opinions about himself.
Yeah. He tells Average Joe that his dad doesn't watch the debates because he doesn't like politicians talking at him, not to him. Mum seems delighted that Kenny's so politically engaged, but says that it's bedtime. But before that, the president asks, how do we change it? This is the president typing now. And Kenny sends one last message. If they just told the truth, people would vote for them, even if they didn't agree 100%.
Yeah, just like in my school when they grade on a curve, I'm a child.
Good job, Kenny. And then we see the president receiving this message and then another message, Night, Mr. Joe. Which is just a sort of normal message to send on an anonymous chat room. When you sign off, you say night to everyone, don't you?
You give them a little kiss goodnight, yeah. And hopeful flute music plays at this revolutionary concept of telling the truth and people voting for you anyway.
At this staggeringly unwholesome scene of the president and a boy on a sort of anonymous chat room.
It must be said that in this movie called Mail to the Chief, at no point does anyone send an email to the chief. It's all IM conversations.
Yeah, that's right. DM to the chief.
Should be called I am the president.
Oh, that's good. I am
the president.
I'm trying to think of a pun.
What about my fellow I'm Americans?
That's good. Yep, we got there.
Right,
we did it.
So
we 100% did it.
We cut to the president addressing a conference of teachers. He says, education is the cornerstone of our country. His aides are all like, brilliant. But then a man in the crowd stands up and he says, hey, that's it. We all know education's great. That's why we're teachers. But what about us? What's supposed to be the cornerstone of my future when I don't even know if I'll have a job each year? There's huge applause for this.
Yeah. Oh, it's a thorny moment for the president, isn't it?
Yeah.
The president says he understands. But how could you understand? This teacher lambasts him. Nobody in your family has had to work for 3 generations.
Yeah.
The president waits a moment and then does this.
I know you don't believe this, but I feel frustration for people like you, too. Politicians don't talk to you anymore. They talk at you, like you're some number.
This is so funny. The aides look aghast, and then he says, you hear the same answers from each politician, yet no one will tell you how they're going to accomplish what they say they're going to do.
Yeah.
And there's rapturous
Wild
applause. Yeah.
It's like if a math teacher, if your student doesn't show their work, it makes you speculate how he arrived at the answer. I know I'm not getting a passing grade from you right now. I'll have to do better
applause.
if I don't want to flunk out. The final
Wild
exam
applause.
isn't until November.
Wild applause.
I hope you'll hold off on grading me till then.
Whoa!
And grade on a curve. And everyone loses their mind. All the teachers are helicoptering their T-shirts.
Yeah, like people in the crowd are crying, screaming, throwing up. It's like, okay, what has just happened in this scene is basically going to be the rest of the film. It's just like this happening over and over and over and over and over again. But so it's worth digging into what has actually happened, which is that nobody is happy with the way the country is being run.
No, so the sitting president Osgood, who is responsible for the current state of the country, he has been in power for the last 3 or so years.
Yeah.
And all of these people have a lot of problems that are directly related to his policies.
Yeah. And this teacher's like, I don't even know if I'm going to have a job next year. And then he says, you know what? I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm doing a bad job and I wouldn't like me either. And then they all start cheering.
But I'll do a good job if you vote for me, like you did last time.
Hooray.
And they're like, yeah.
Yeah. And then he starts making like weak teacher comedy. He's like, I suppose you might say that if you had me in one of your classes, you wouldn't be giving me a passing grade.
Well, he knows about grades. That's our thing. That's our thing.
Oh, it's good. Oh, it's good.
it's
Even
good.
though what he's actually said is, I think if I was in your class, you would fail me because I'm
of the
failing
poor
as
job I'm
president.
doing.
Woo! Yeah. But he said it with teacher. I better do better if I don't want to flunk out, because again, the last 3 years have been an unmitigated economic disaster, it seems.
Yeah, later at the Association of Dog Groomers,
Yeah.
he says, I hope you'll agree that I've been a good boy when I've implemented some different policies, and you'll want to sit and stay with the Republican Party.
Hey, Mr. Osgood, in the last 3 years, I've hated all your policies about burning dogs and shooting them on sight. May I beg your forgiveness and hope you treat me. Oh, it's good. Osgood's my guy.
Guess I'm in the doghouse with you guys.
Oh my God. Again, Osgood didn't answer the question at all.
Yeah, he was like, he even he says, I think that it's like in a math class where you don't show you're working. You wonder how they came to the answer. And you're like, yeah. And you're like, but you haven't done that.
He hasn't answered the question, which was also what Kenny told him to do. He was like, tell the truth. But then what he's done is he's like, well, I'll tell you what I'll do instead. It's just a load of like teacher comedy.
But the thing is, Kenny didn't tell him what the truth is, and he can only just repeat what Kenny says throughout this whole movie.
Yes,
You'll see it over and over again. He doesn't have the capacity to form an original thought.
No, he doesn't. He is a very, very bad leader.
Anyway, all these teachers are absolutely loving him. He strides to his motorcade. The press come up to him and say, the passion in your speech just now was amazing, Mr. President.
Yeah.
Does it signal a shift in your campaign strategy? I said it all up there, says the president, out of ideas now, because he said all of the ones he got.
He needs to sort of load up the idea tank on chat rooms.
Yeah.
Back at the Oval Office, the news reports that 13 minutes after he told a teacher he wouldn't be getting a passing grade, his approval shot up 4%.
After he admitted to failing the American people in relatable ways.
Yeah. But he did it with teacher jokes.
Yeah.
Kenny watches the news. That's when the president lit the room on fire with these words.
We see his rambling speech again. And apparently this lit the room on fire.
Also, that the news would say that the news would be like, here's the president telling a teacher that he thinks that he wouldn't pass president school or something. And the news is like, he's lit the room on fire.
He's lit the room on fire with his humble down-home admission of his awful failings. Oh my God.
So Mike shows up with a copy of Mortal Karnage. We do get to see the box art for Mortal Karnage.
It appears to be a homemade cover that Mike has done himself with a drawing of a fighter jet on it. Ta-da, says Mike weakly.
Even though Mortal Karnage should, of course, be a rip on Mortal Kombat, Mortal Karnage is, in fact, some kind of boring real-time strategy game or something.
Yeah, I thought maybe it was like Desert Strike or something.
Yeah.
A sort of ripped from the headlines Gulf War, like... fighter jet game.
I think it's that the writers like ripped off Mortal Kombat but don't know what Mortal Kombat is.
Don't know what Mortal Kombat is. Yeah. Carnage is spelled with a K, so it's obviously that's what they're going for.
It allows you to wage war in real time, says Mike, pushing you to the very brink of nuclear annihilation. Mm-hmm. But Kenny changes the subject. He shows Mike that he's managed to log into the teacher's special bit of the website. There is a
teacher website. Yeah.
There's a button on the teacher internet. Yeah, the teacher internet has a big button marked tests. They aren't what I think they are, says Mike, his breath trembling.
Yeah.
But then, bleep, an incoming DM. It's Average Joe. He's telling Big Jack W that his words last night made him think. Kenny sends back the following message. You'd better not be some kind of weirdo, are you? And then the message comes back. No, not at all.
Yeah, so his fears are allayed.
His fears allayed. All has 3 L's. Who are you? Types Kenny. I work in an office. The message comes back. Because the president has put 2 Ks in work and 3 Fs in office.
Yeah. Because he can't type.
Your typing stinks, says Kenny. What kind of work do you do? Asks the president. Homework. Good job, Kenny.
The president tries really hard to not learn that Kenny is a student at a school. He says, a grad student. That explains it. What school? Asks the president for some reason. Davidson Middle School, replies Kenny for some reason.
Kenny! Kenny!
Stop doxing yourself, Kenny.
Kenny!
Why are you telling him where you live?
Don't tell people online what school you go to. My God, it's like it's making me feel cold and sweaty seeing Kenny do this online. I can't believe how poorly this film has aged. It's like and what just sort of absolutely blows my mind is that this film was like, well, we'd better put in a scene where Mum says, like, of course you got to make sure you don't
online.
You got to be safe online and don't talk to weirdos. But then they have a scene where he types out that he goes to Davidson Middle School, and at no point in the production of this film did anyone think. And at no point in the year 2000, I guess, did anyone think that's not something that Kenny should have done. The film doesn't like punish or admonish. There's no bit of music that goes like, like, oh, Kenny, should you have done that? No, there's none of that. The film doesn't know. The film doesn't know it's bad to talk to anonymous people online and tell them what school you go to. It's nuts.
Kenny is so determined to tell the president that he's a child. He's like, Davidson Middle School. And the president's like, of course, you're a teacher. And he's like, no, I'm not a teacher. I'm in 8th grade.
Yeah.
And then the president faints dead away for some reason.
There's a sound of a collapsing chair as the president reels. Recovering, he asks Kenny for more of his thoughts. And we cut to the second debate. The president is getting murdered by Harris, who wants to curb defense spend.
Yeah.
For some reason, this is portrayed as like a vote-winning play, even though I'm pretty sure generally, right, cutting defense spending is a fairly unpopular policy. So I don't know.
Like pre 9/11, it was probably
which this is, yeah. So anyway, so this is Harris, our film's villain. He's like, we're spending way too much money on defense. I would like to curb it.
I would like to, maybe fund some social programs.
And everyone's like, no, that sounds good.
Yeah.
And then they ask the president, how would you cut rampant overspend? The president goes completely silent for exactly 12 seconds. I timed it.
He freezes
for 12 seconds.
His entire body stiffens and he just like completely shuts down like he's rebooting.
Yeah.
And then he says, I've thought long and hard about this, and I think we should make defense spending like the TV game show Spell for Cash. The crowd murmurs, what could the president possibly mean?
Yes. Then the president goes on to give a long and rambling answer that increasingly is interrupted by like rapturous applause. Basically what he says is,
I can't wait for you to pressy this. This is
okay. So there's a bit of a problem in that it all hinges on this game show Spell for Cash, which is an in-universe game show that we never see.
We never see and is never explained.
But unless you're on nodding terms with fictional game show Spell for Cash, what the president says isn't going to make any sense. But he says, look, you all know how in the old days on Spell for Cash, you could only buy items from the game show store. So people would go home with $2,000 porcelain tigers. People would go home with $2,000 porcelain tigers that weren't worth that much. But eventually the show started paying contestants cash to keep it interesting. And similarly, the president wants to start shopping defense contracts around so that the US can buy cheaper missiles. And everyone's like, hooray!
I'm just going to read what I've got in my notes here.
Yeah, go on.
This sundowning ramble goes on for a while, and I wistfully think of a time when it was unusual for a president to act this way.
Oh, yeah, it's okay. So everyone claps. The music is like the music when E.T. goes home. It could not be more triumphant and inspiring. His opponent, Harris, is left speechless. He has no response. Even though if I was Harris, I would have a response.
Yeah, they say, Mr. Harris, do you have a response? And he goes, No. I'd be like, what the are you talking about? Why are you going on about $6,000 porcelain tigers and spell for cash? What do you mean? None of this is it relates to the defense industry.
I think if I was Harris, I would say, look, I see what you're trying to do, Mr. Osgood, which is sort of like dazzle the American voter with patronizing references to game shows. But actually what you're saying is that we should start like shopping out defense contracts to people who are willing to pay less. We'll end up with a load of substandard tanks and missiles that don't work and aren't fit for purpose. All the time you've continued to sort of spend more and more and more on defense, but just, buying like worse technology and worse stuff. Like, I think that's what he's basically saying, isn't it? He's like, I want to stop like, who are the big US defense contractors? I don't know, like
Lockheed Martin
or something. Like, I think what the president's saying is Lockheed Martin are charging too much. So I will cut funding by sort of buying some cheaper crap, like cheaper crap missiles I found online.
Yeah.
Or something. But again, I've come to that conclusion having watched this scene a few times through to try and peer through the game show bit. But why have I bothered? I don't know. I think it's because it's important to me watching it. I want to know what this president's policies are.
I want to understand what he means. So he says that in this game show, you used to be given like credit that you could only spend in a game show store, and you could pick your prizes from the store.
Yes.
But then they started giving people money, and they could spend that on cheaper tigers and then have money left over.
So I think it's like, okay, so imagine you're on a game show and they give you, and they're like, you've won $2,000. What would you like to buy? And there's a sort of carousel of items like, will you buy this $2,000 porcelain tiger? And the porcelain tiger, they're letting you have it for the $2,000 that the contestant has won, but the porcelain tiger is actually, it's only worth a few $100s. It's not as valuable as they're saying it is. But because you can only shop from the game show, which is to say Lockheed Martin, you have to buy an expensive tiger.
And then he starts talking about $400 toilet seats. This feels like it's possibly ripped from the headlines, like it's a thing that people in the year 2000 would be on nodding familiarity with. It's like, oh yeah, there was a news story about how toilet seats in the Pentagon cost $400 or something.
Maybe there's a very, very popular US game show where at the end you sort of buy items from a...
How it used to work on Wheel of Fortune or something?
Maybe, yeah, could be. Let's say
like
yes.
The $64,000 question. It doesn't matter. It's just like, this is such a weird rambling, like he would be getting pilloried in the press for this. It's like rambling president makes no sense, talks about porcelain tigers.
Yeah. Harris would murder him up there, like in this debate.
But no, he's just like, I have no response to this breathtaking display of statesmanship.
Yeah, also, just because he keeps mentioning spell for cash, the entire crowd is like, they're just like loving it, they're clapping. This is at the debate as well, like the televised debate, where I think they're supposed to probably, sort of like nod and look thoughtful, the audience. They're probably not supposed to sort of like...
Start helicoptering their T-shirts, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, we cut to the Oval Office for another dynamite scene.
We cut to a White House janitor emptying the president's bin. As all White House janitors do, I expect he starts reading random documents in the trash and sees that one is a printout of an IM exchange with Kenny. It's only a fragment, and it reads, "To Average Joe from Big Jack W. The defense of the United States. I think that the defense," and then it cuts off.
Yeah, and then it cuts off because the paper's torn.
Yeah.
So why is the president printing out his chat logs?
Why is he putting them in the bin in the Oval Office? And why is the janitor allowed to go through the bins of the Oval Office without any kind of oversight?
I don't know. He's obviously torn up this note because he's like, this could be sensitive information, but it's not been shredded. It's not been disposed. I mean, I have to think that in the White House, probably documents are shredded, or disposed of in a way that isn't like the janitor can sort of pick them out the bin,
go through them and get national security secrets. Yeah.
Anyway, in the motorcade, Catherine Horner is like, Mr. President, how do you know about game shows? He explains that ordinary Americans can't stand numbers and true information, so he has to communicate to these six-toed rubes with TV references.
These pig people.
Again, it's like, this is like the film has nothing but contempt for for like voters. It's like, here's how you trick voters. It's like, anyway,
Yeah.
We cut to the Kenny household. The TV news report says that the president stunned the nation. The response has been overwhelming.
Yeah, Mom is watching this on TV. The news is talking about how everyone loves President Osgood's insane ramblings.
Yeah.
He's struck a chord with the average American, says a woman. I've written, crucially, none of what Osgood is saying is backed up by policy. He is the sitting president. I've put that all in caps.
Yeah. Mom says, I'm actually starting to like the things President Osgood is saying.
Again,
Sentence.
he's not done anything.
Yeah.
He's talked about game shows. His policies are the same as they have been for the last 3 years to cause everyone to hate him.
Yeah. Anyway, then we cut to Russia, or
Russia?
I think it's not Russia. I think it's the Russian embassy or something. Because we're going to see this guy later in it. You know what? Okay, this film has a few subplots that don't go anywhere, and one of them is everything involving Russia. So, like, we'll tell you what happens, but just know up front, it's not going to impact the plot literally, like, at all.
Yeah.
Literally at all, I think.
We cut to this Russian embassy, or possibly Russia.
Yeah.
A man is holding some paper and he asks another man named Vladimir when it arrived. Last night, he's told. Get it to Moscow right away, he says. And Vladimir, start a file on this Big Jack W. We also see China. They're talking about Big Jack W as well. Mm-hmm. At the CIA, they've intercepted something from the Iranian embassy. Looks like there could be a mole very close to the president, they say. Get all our agents on it and find out who this Big Jack W is, they say, within earshot of the receptionist. It's all happening in the lobby of the CIA.
Oh, yeah, that's true. They're having like a walk and talk through the lobby. It's like, yeah. So basically, Dad's going to get murdered by the state of America or something, it seems. Cafeteria.
He's going to get stabbed with a Polonian tipped umbrella.
Yeah, we're at the school cafeteria. That's for being politically unengaged. At the cafeteria, Matthew Cox, the sitting class president,
the boy president,
addresses his
Botus
addresses his boy subject. He's a charismaless nerd, but he says that anyone who wants to support his campaign can come to his family's arcade, where his dad will provide free tokens for arcades and batting cages.
Yeah.
Kenny shakes his head in disgust.
Everyone else cheers. He chases down Heather. She says she's busy, but he tells her he did the computer thing. He has the test. You're the best, Kenny, she says, and kisses his cheek. He touches it in disbelief. But who's this? It's evil Orioles jacket bully Greg from earlier. He wants the test too when Kenny's done with it.
Yeah, so now Kenny's in hot water. This film cannot stop picking up little threads.
Yeah.
That it is not... Okay, so what's going to happen with the Russians? What's going to happen with Greg knowing that Kenny has hacked the school computer?
Pretty big compromat he's got on Kenny now.
Yeah.
That'll pay off, I expect. So we cut to Harris Campaign HQ. They're watching the news about how Osgood's campaign has the momentum of a runaway freight train. Harris turns it off. Just what in the Sam Hill is going on here, he asks his staffers.
Now he's quoting game shows and everybody thinks he's Middle America's new poster boy. He tasks his staff with finding out who's advising him. It must be a rare genius.
This evil Democrat. He's
evil Democrat.
Yeah.
We cut to the Oval Office. The president calls in Catherine Horner and confesses to her, for some reason, that he's been taking advice from an anonymous internet boy.
He's been chatting to a 13-year-old boy online every night.
All due respect, sir. This is a joke, right?
Even I couldn't make that one up.
You are asking me to tell the American people in an election year that the leader of the most powerful nation on earth is taking policy advice from an 8th grader he met in a chat room on the U.S. online network?
I want to meet him, Catherine. The kid's a gold mine.
You can't be serious.
Maybe he's some sort of a child prodigy, a political Mozart.
I have a 9-year-old grandson who just built a spectacular tree fort. We should get him in here. He could be the Secretary of Defense.
Catherine. Bottom line, how many points are we up in the polls?
Well, that's that. There's no version of this, is there, that works out for the president if it eventually involves the American people knowing that he met this boy in a chat room.
And developed a close relationship with him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even like the angle where it's like, oh, I'm just like relating to the average American person. It just doesn't really work when they're a 13-year-old boy who doesn't know anything about anything.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you know, if the president was doing like a sort of Reddit AMA or something.
Yeah.
You know, that'd be different. That would be more sort of like a relatable win, wouldn't it?
Yeah, or he was like going undercover boss, like in a sort of face full of latex prosthetics into like an auto factory in Detroit to learn how things are for the real Americans.
Yeah, exactly.
Or going to the Baby No Money concert to learn what the kids are into.
It's a very big risk you're taking, baby.
baby, no, could it just be Baby Some Money at least?
Baby, please. There's a middle path here, Baby No Money.
baby Some Money.
I beg you. baby comfortably off.
baby comfortable.
Baby done all right for himself. Baby, yeah. That could work.
Work. Please, just consider
it.
Please,
baby. Now, the film does a bit. So strap in.
Look forward to it.
Kenny,
the CIA are all on Kenny now, right? So we see Kenny leave his house. The CIA are surveilling him. A jogger tails him. A mom with a buggy snaps spy cam pictures of him very conspicuously. An ice cream truck is tailing him. He pulls up to a mini mart. All the tailing vans pull up too. He goes inside. A bike thief tries to steal Kenny's small child bike, but 3 undercover CIA agents pull submachine guns on him.
Yeah.
And he doesn't.
And rack them noisily.
Yeah.
So he doesn't steal the bike. Kenny goes bowling with Mike. Everyone else in the alley is a fake bowler. They all bowl in perfect unison while observing Kenny. His ball is stuck for a while in the machine. Then it comes back with a big white handprint on it, which I think was meant to infer means that it's been dusted for prints.
Oh, right. I thought it had been touched by a ghost.
Yeah, honestly, it's like a sort of supernatural event. It comes back with this huge sort of like
it's like
hail.
It's like evidence from Phasmophobia. You're like,
yes,
I've shone the UV torch on the bowling ball. I've got a handprint,
like a supernatural handprint.
It's a haint.
Yeah. So in the Oval Office, the president is speaking to the Russian, premier, someone for ages. Horner is of the opinion that he won't survive this week's vote of no confidence.
The president's going to send him like some cherries or something as a gift. And then Catherine is like, he's not going to survive this week's vote of no confidence in the Duma. Forget it then, says the president.
But I wrote that down, Andy, because I was like, oh, we're checking in on the Russians subplot. But it's nothing.
Yeah, but
none of this is anything.
It's like a little mirror, right? Because then we cut to Moscow and we see the Russian president is like, we should send the president some vodka. And then his advisor says he will lose the election in November.
Yes.
So there's no point. But then he says, we must find out what he's thinking. His advisor says that sources tell him they are close to identifying Big Jack W.
Maybe he should get a visit from the Economic Development Office, says the Russian president in a sort of vaguely sinister way.
Yeah. Back in the Oval Office, Kenny has been declared clean by the CIA. Let's get him in here, says the president. I want to meet this boy in real life. I want to take our relationship to the next level.
Yeah.
Let's get him in here.
Horner wants to keep it secret if he is brought in.
Yeah, Catherine says if you want to bring this 13-year-old boy to Washington for a private encounter, you'll have to do it in secret.
Yeah. But the other aide, whose name I never heard mentioned.
I don't think is ever said.
Yeah. The other aide says, I don't know, everything gets out eventually. It's better to do this publicly. And we can
I think it is slightly better for the president to announce that he's meeting a 13-year-old boy rather than secretly meet a 13-year-old boy.
But I wonder if there's a third option, Mr. President, where you don't meet a 13-year-old boy.
Well, you don't have a private encounter with a 13-year-old boy, yeah.
Yeah.
Surely.
Horner has reservations anyway. He says, like, how are we even going to meet this boy? And we cut to the plan they've cooked up. The civics teacher from school has been given a fake Best Teacher award, which comes with a White House trip for his class and a certificate. We see the certificate. It's like bleeding ink.
The way I've described it is the teacher has handed his certificate of recognition. Thick black ichor starts pouring out of it for some reason.
Okay, I think I know what's happened. What's happened is that the script calls for a certificate that is so obviously a humorous fake that the ink is like still...
It's still wet. They've only just done it.
The ink is still wet on it. However, in the cut and thrust of filmmaking, the pandemonium and the rush, what they've got is a dry printed certificate, and then it's like, okay, it has to look like the ink's still wet. So from like out of shot, someone has like dripped huge sort of big, like black
Someone has
droplets.
put a hose pipe full of black ichor kind of through the certificate, and now it's spraying all out of it like a prop from Ghostbusters. Yeah.
Yeah, it's visually upsetting. So the kids get a lackluster tour. Kenny stops to be inspired by a painting of Kennedy.
Yeah, Kenny is like the tour starts, and Kenny immediately separates himself from the tour by looking at Aaron Schicklers' portrait of John F. Kennedy.
Yeah.
For ages, he is now completely lost from the tour, but now he's on his own. A CIA guy comes up and asks him to come with him. Kenny's like, "Hey, I recognize you from bowling," but he's told that the president wants to see him. The president? You mean Matthew Cox? Asks this impossible dumbass. Not that president. Obviously, says the CIA. You're in the White House. What president do you think I'm talking about?
So he's led into the Oval Office and introduced to the president.
Oh, okay. I was just holding the pen. He snuck up on me. I wasn't going to take it. Here.
Welcome to the White House, Kenny. Or should I say, Big Jack W. I'm A. Thornton Osgood III, but you probably know me best as Average Joe.
What?
I'm the one you've been talking to online. The, bad typist.
Are you trying to say that you're the guy I thought was a weirdo? Wow! This is like, wow! This isn't about the pen, is it?
No, it's not about the pen. The president and Kenny soon get down to business. He explains to Kenny that Kenny has the common touch and will forthwith be writing speeches for the president.
Yeah.
Kenny's excited. He can't wait to tell everyone, but the president tells him this must be a total secret from everyone except Kenny's parents, who will certainly not believe him.
Yeah.
He gets a speechwriter in.
I don't know about political stuff, says Kenny. Who does, says the president of the United States of America.
Good. The president calls in Gene, his speechwriter, who stands there ready to take dictation. But Kenny is kind of cowed by the environment and the pressure. He's like, I'm in the Oval Office behind the presidential desk. He doesn't know what to say. So the president suggests they relocate to the bowling alley.
Well, I think he also suggests that because Kenny picks up the red phone that connects to the Kremlin, and the president's like, no!
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
He's just sat at the Resolute desk, just like touching stuff and scrambling bombers and all sorts. Yeah.
So meanwhile, the tour guide is forced to string out the school distraction while the president and Kenny talk.
This tour guide apparently hates giving tours of the White House, which is his job.
Yeah. So he has to kind of string it out. He ends up like showing them like each toilet individually.
There's 32 toilets in the White House, and they go on a special extended tour where they will visit every toilet.
In the presidential rec room, Kenny is quizzed about the Zimmer bill, about deepfake pornography of Rosie O'Donnell or something, as far as we can tell. The president explains that, needless to say, he's not keen on clamping down on that sort of thing, but he explains that he's under a lot of party pressure. But in his sweet naivete, little Kenny says, well, the Constitution says Congress shall make no law, so just show them a copy of the Constitution and ask if theirs is the same.
So the president is offered to bowl a little here in the bowling alley, but he says that he doesn't. His daughter Madison comes down here, but he never has the time. Kenny looks over at a military man holding the nuclear codes. The man with the football, says the president. Great, we can toss that around later, says Kenny. Great stuff.
Great stuff. Kenny rejoins the tour eventually. Mike noticed that he was missing.
The tour is still going. They're in bathroom 30 or 32. The guide says, the faucets here are on standby in case the president ever needs to wash his hands or fill an iron. I don't know. Just that image is very funny to me.
That's good. I think the tour guide is funny.
Yeah,
it's like it's some funny comic acting of like exhausted, overstretched tour.
Good news, Luke.
Yep.
I have been chatting with a 13-year-old boy online.
This doesn't sound like good news.
No, it is good news.
And it doesn't sound like something that Insert Coin wants to be part of their advert.
What I'm telling you, Luke, is it's good news because he is a hip youth and he's going to help us stay relevant in today's changing modern podcast environment.
Oh, that would be ideal. What's the kid saying? Give me the gold.
He's got all kinds of tips for us, but he says he won't let us know them until he's assured that we're cool too. Oh. But how will we appear cool, Luke? This kid is into all sorts of things like video games and such.
Oh, video
games.
And
he's looking at me. I'm wearing a T-shirt that's got it's got a horse and buggy on it from the past, and he's like, that's not cool.
No.
Come back when you're cool, Grandad.
Okay, all right. Let me think. Okay, Weren't we talking on a podcast recently about insertcoinclothing.com?
I think it rings a bell.
Yeah, it was a website where you could get licensed video game apparel from all of your favourite video games.
That's right.
That we could get some cool clothes from there. I seem to remember that the designs were incredibly stylish and awesome and sort of just the perfect level of video game references that people who know will see them and be like, oh, I see a kindred spirit, but people who don't, they'll kind of sail under the radar and it'll just be a cool shirt. That could work.
That could work. But I mean, surely they're not going to have the kinds of games that people consider to be cool, such as Metaphor, ReFantazio, Resident Evil, Shenmue, Shovel Knight, Sonic the Hedgehog, The Witcher, Yakuza Like a Dragon, and more.
Yes, they've got all of those things, Andy. They do, and so much more. And it's not just apparel. They've got all sorts on there, and frankly, it's fun just to browse the website. So why don't you go and browse the website, you clown? InsertCoinClothing.com.
Luke, as is their habit and want, Insert Coin has given us a code to use to give our listeners 10% off online orders. Would you like to hear the code now?
Yeah.
Would you like me to say it?
Let me just strap myself to my chair. All right. Okay. I'm ready now.
Right. Now, bear in mind before I say the code.
Oh, boy. Okay.
That this movie is about a president who is played by Randy Quaid.
Yes.
So now armed with that knowledge, here it comes. Here's the code.
Yeah.
The code is Presidential Motor Quaid.
Okay. Okay. That's, like a motorcade, which we're all familiar with.
So simply go to Insert Coin Clothing and use code Presidential Motorquaid. That's PRESIDENTIALMOTORQUAID. All one word, all caps. And you will get 10% off online orders. Codes are not applicable on charity items, bundles, gift cards, postage, and some products at launch. Codes cannot be combined with other deals or promotions and are valid until the end of 2026.
Andy, I've been trying to eat healthier.
Oh yeah. Have you been checking out new recipes? Is that how you've been? Doing
I have. I've been going on the 90s internet.
Oh, you've been going on the recipe messaging forum from the 1990s.
Yeah, well, there are no search engines, so what I'm doing is I'm just sort of guessing at like what I want to know and putting .com at the end and seeing if a website comes up.
Okay,
so, healthyeating.com. Oh,
and Pornography, of course it is. Well, maybe there's some recipes on this pornography site. Have you tried scrolling?
Maybe. I'm scrolling. I don't think I can eat that.
No.
Okay, no, I don't know. I don't think this is going to work. I guess I'll just be unhealthy.
Well, you don't have to be, Luke, because it's not the 90s anymore.
Hooray!
And now that it's the space years of the 2020s, we have Green Chef.
Yay!
That's right. Where internet recipes and fad diets fail, Green Chef delivers real food and recipes that make healthy eating easy. And get this, lasting.
That's right, with Green Chef you can pick what matters to you. We're talking Mediterranean food, high-protein food, or their new longevity line, built around brain and gut health for a longevitied brain and gut.
Do you want to live longer, to have a longer living brain and gut?
You want to have a longer
that's
gut?
What they've got.
Nice long gut.
That's right. Exactly. And your meals come pre-portioned and ready in minutes. And if you want guidance beyond the plate, they include free unlimited one-on-one nutrition coaching that helps you stay on track.
Green Chef is the only certified clean meal kit. It's tested by the Clean Label Project, and it's the most sustainable meal kit with 20% less food waste and 100% offset delivery emissions. Folks, if we could use Green Chef here in the UK, then we absolutely would be doing so. It's a wicked cool way to get delicious food delivered straight to your home.
So head to greenchef.com/50mumcan'tcook and use code 50mumcan'tcook to get 50% off your first month, then 20% off for 2 months. That's code 50mumcan'tcook, 50 MOMCANTCOOK at greenchef.com/50mumcan'tcook.
I earned my degree online at Arizona State University. I chose to get my degree at ASU because I knew that I'd get a quality education, they were recognized for excellence, and that I would be prepared for the workforce upon graduating. To be associated with ASU, both as a student and alum, it makes me extremely proud, and having experienced the program, I know now that I'm set up for success. Learn more at asuonline.asu.edu.
Back home, Kenny is channel surfing, looking for the news. He finds Harris giving an interview, struggling to get on Osgood's level in terms of knowing about popular game shows.
Yeah, he's bombing in an interview, getting Jeopardy wrong, trying to emulate Osgood's game show-centric platform.
Who advises this guy? Snarks Kenny.
He flips over the channel and we see another news channel reporting that the president held up the Constitution and asked if theirs was the same.
To rapturous applause.
Rapturous applause.
Mum and Dad come home. You're not going to believe what happened on my field trip today. And we see Kenny explaining that he went bowling with the president. They don't believe him. Even though Kenny he's 13, right? He's old for making stuff up. Mm-hmm. Like, if your 13-year-old was telling this kind of story with this much enthusiasm, you'd be like, well, something's going on.
Something's going on, yeah.
I don't know what, but something's going on. But they're like...
Let me just check his internet chat logs. Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. Okay, someone claiming to be the president.
Okay, Kenny.
Okay. So, but they're like, yeah, that's nice, Kenny. They humour him. Kenny's frustrated by their total indifference and he sort of stomps off.
Yeah, his family are all like windmill dunking on him. Dad isn't even engaged enough to do that.
Yeah.
It's a cry for attention, says his sister. At school, Kenny and his friends are sitting around discussing TV. One kid recounts a man shattering his testicles on a rake on Funniest Home Videos, and everyone laughs. Anyone catch Face the Press yesterday, asks Kenny. They all blank him.
Yeah.
I'm kidding, he says, and they all laugh like a man just had his testicle shattered.
These politically unengaged kids. Yeah. We cut to a warehouse. We see Dad at work. His job is to put the this side up stickers on boxes, and he's putting them all on the correct side. So well done, Dad.
So he's a good, conscientious worker.
Yeah.
The Russians are here. They pretend to be from the European Economic Development Office in Washington, and they make a beeline straight for Dad. We find out that Dad is called Jack Witkowski, so he is in fact Big Jack W.
Big Jack W, yeah. They talk, possibly in code, about the temperature in Washington. We would like to see it warmer, they say. Dad is clueless as to what's happening. They're basically trying to sort of recruit him to be an informant, but he doesn't know anything about anything, so he's just like, and the scene ends. This is going to happen a few more times, but I cannot stress enough, nothing is going to come of it. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah. At the White House, no one can believe how well holding up the Constitution went. Kids are political savants, says Catherine. At school, the test is over in Kenny's civics class. He's asked to stay after class by the teacher. He just finished grading his quiz on the White House. You didn't get a single question right, he says. All your answers were about the Oval Office and a secret bowling alley. The opportunity of a lifetime, and you didn't even pay attention. F.
Well, speaking of not paying attention, how about you, the teacher, taking a field trip around the White House? You didn't notice that one of your students wasn't there for 3 hours.
Yeah.
Did you?
They were so inspired by a painting of John F. Kennedy, they got separated from the group and then they vanished for 3 hours.
Yeah.
You know, who knows what was going on there?
Yeah. We briefly cut to the Russians. They're telling the, I guess, sort of film's lazy Putin equivalent that Dad is an idiot who isn't involved.
Yeah.
Then Kenny takes a call from the president. He wants to know if he has any free time to go bowling.
Oh, God, it's so sinister.
Yeah, it is. Then he takes another call. It's from Heather. She's hassling him to get on that website, but she mentions a school dance. We don't hear her side of the conversation. We only see, like, Kenny reacting. He amusingly keeps the president waiting to accept an invite to the school dance.
Yeah. See, so when I learned the premise of this film, I was like, oh, and the president is in turn going to give Kenny advice on, you know, navigating the trials and tribulations of being a teenager. Yeah. So I was like, oh, here's where the president will say, I remember when I asked my wife on our first date and I was so nervous, but but no, there's none of that.
I just had to be confident and go for it. But there's absolutely none of that. You're right, Andy. The president is a sort of like dummy made of clay who sort of like can't do anything. He's like a Furby. He just sort of like parrots things you say at him.
He can't form his own opinions or give his own speeches. He can only sort of mimetically like recreate things that have been said to him already, exactly like a Furby. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a Teddy Ruxpin. You just put a tape of like relatable political opinions in him.
Yeah. Yeah.
And his eyes and mouth move.
Okay, so Kenny, who stays up all night sharing personal information with anonymous adults in chat rooms, bounds out the house telling his mum, I'm off to help the president. And smiling, she says, young man, you can't be going to help the president. If you don't tell me the truth, you're not leaving the house. Kenny is clearly distressed by this, like the lack of belief, and says, "Fine, I'm going to Mike's." "That's better," says Mom, completely appeased.
I know that Baltimore and Washington, D.C. are fairly close, but it's still, you know, a 90-minute, 2-hour drive between them. And, like, where are they picking him up? In this, like, presidential limo? Like, round the corner? In an alley?
Yeah.
What's going on? It's so unwholesome.
Yeah, there's loads of scenes in this film of Kenny, like, chatting with the president in the White House at night, and no explanation of, like, do his parents know? He must be getting home at, like, midnight.
Kenny's getting home at, like, 1 a.m. having missed dinner, and his parents are like, fine.
Oh, he's been over at Mike's.
He's been over at Mike's till 1 a.m. with no dinner.
I assume. Kenny, you've got to get home earlier, or you won't have time to talk to anonymous adults in chat rooms.
Kenny, why do you smell like bills and amendments?
Yeah. No reason.
No reason.
In the Oval Office, they're getting pizza and prepping for the next debate. Catherine Horner gives Kenny a beeper and like a direct line to the president so that they can contact Kenny whenever they want without having to go through his parents, who are slowing the whole thing down and asking too many questions.
We also see that the president is now having Kenny pulled out of school to do this. We see the principal being told like that his aunt called and his uncle Ozzy in Washington needs him. So he's being pulled out of school.
Yeah.
We cut to Washington and he's reading the president's speech, which says amplitudinous problems facing today's college students. And Kenny says, whoa, amplitudinous? He scribbles it out and fixes it to the word sizable. Much more relatable.
A much more American word. We see the rest of his edits. Reiterating becomes saying. Meritocracy becomes question mark, question mark, question mark.
At work, Dad is approached by the Chinese. End of scene.
Now, okay, in any other film, you would call what's happening here a montage, but in this whole film is a montage, basically, because the scenes are so short.
Yes.
But yeah, it is just like kind of, okay. Dad is attemptedly recruited by the Chinese. Principal tells Kenny that Uncle Ozzy took a turn for the worse. President uses the word sizable in a speech and everyone windmills their T-shirts.
Winning the love and adoration of the people.
Yeah. Kenny shows the Joint Chiefs of Staff's Mortal Karnage, which features attack helicopters and enemy tanks. They like it.
Yeah, he says that attack helicopters work well against enemy tanks. In the game Mortal Karnage, and they all sort of nod sagely.
As if this is the first time they're learning about helicopters working against tanks, or as if it's real intel. I don't know what this is supposed to be. Next scene, Kenny falls asleep in class because he's burning the candle at both ends. Next scene, Harris watches footage of Osgood charming kids with singing and is like, argh!
Yeah, watches in horror. More absences for Kenny. His uncle is having a liver transplant now, apparently.
Yeah, and for some reason, Kenny needs to be there.
It's his liver he's getting, I guess.
Oh, right, yeah. Next scene.
He leaves school, but Oriol's jacket bully Greg grabs him. However, a limo full of G-men pulls up, saves Kenny, and then retrieves his Oriol's jacket from Greg.
Yeah.
And triumphant music plays.
Some of the Secret Service scare Greg, who is also just a boy, until he gives back Kenny's jacket. And the film is like, hooray!
Hooray for America.
My note is I have no idea where the last 30 minutes of this film are going to go.
I know.
The answer is sort of nowhere.
So, the news. President Osgood is more in touch with the average American than ever.
What?
The polls are going well. Senator Harris is furious. How is this happening, he says.
He's desperate to know.
Yeah, he's desperate to know.
His staff say that Catherine Horner runs a very tight ship. How will they ever find out what's going on? Seems like everything is going great. They're in the bowling alley. Kenny sneezes and speechwriter Gene leaps to transcribe it. So...
So it's going well with the having their own ideas thing. Yeah.
Yeah. It's clearly night. This is one of those scenes where it's clearly nighttime. My note to Kenny's parents know where he is. They chat about bowling and Kenny seems to be having the time of his life. And it leads to Kenny asking if the president would like to try bowling. And so we get a heartwarming montage of a young boy teaching a grown man how to bowl, one of the simplest things ever. This is so stupid. I think maybe the writers of this film have never bowled, but it's like, it's so... Bowling is like, it's like, will you teach me to bowl?
Yeah.
You throw the ball.
Throw the ball at the
You roll the
pins.
ball. You roll the ball at the pins and try and knock them down. It's like the most straightforward thing ever. We see the president flinging bowling balls skywards, like into neighbouring lanes.
This flailing baby of a man who can't do anything.
Exactly. If you took a grown-up who had never bowled and said, try bowling, I reckon they would, on their very first try with no instruction, get 95% of the way there. Right?
Yeah.
And then the rest of the 5% is like what separates the amateurs from the professionals. But like
it's so annoying. So when was the movie Kingpin? It was the 90s, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 1996. So Randy Quaid was in Kingpin as a bowler.
Right. Yeah.
In that movie. I don't know if they're trying to... He makes a reference to his Kingpin character in this movie. He says, I really Munsoned it, which is the name of his character in Kingpin.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if they're trying to like ride the coattails of Kingpin, but also there is a bowling alley in the White House.
Right.
And also they're like, oh, we should do something with that because he was in a bowling movie. And also they're like, but I've got this really good like thing about 7-10 splits that's going to be really important to the film, which is what they try and set up here. So the president knocks down 8 of the pins and leaves a 7-10 split.
Which is that thing where the 2 pins furthest away from each other are the ones still standing.
Yeah. And he's like, oh no, what do I do? And Kenny explains there are 2 options because obviously there's 2 options. You can either hit one pin or you can try and hit both pins. And the president's like, whoa. Are you serious? He's like, yeah, you can play it safe.
Just like in life.
You can play it safe or you could go for broke. And the president bowls, he knocks down 1 pin and he goes, I'm a moderate.
It's a garbage analogy anyway, because if you can imagine a 7-10, like I'm not a bowling expert, but if you can imagine a 7-10 split, it's only safe to knock down 1 if you're incredibly good at bowling, right? If you can like hit any pin that you choose to hit.
Yeah, at the exact angle that will knock it into the other one.
But the other one, where imagine you're just trying to knock over 1.
Yeah.
That's not like a safe
It's
bowl,
still hard
is
to
it?
hit 1 pin on
It's still hard to hit 1. And if you hit 1 in a way that kind of like pings it into the other one, the angle at which you have to do that is not that different from the angle at which you just sort of hit that one anyway. So what I'm saying is I am an amateur bowler, and whenever I've got a 7-10 split, I bowl for one of them and try and hit it and hope that it will ping into the other one. And usually I miss both of them.
Yeah, because it's hard.
Yeah, there's no, like, the difference, there's no safe option. It's not a safe. You wouldn't describe it as safe.
No.
It's like, well, the safest thing is to just knock over 1. Because you might not knock over that one. You probably won't. And if you do hit that one, it might knock over the other one just sort of by accident. Anyway, it's annoying.
The safest way to get out in darts is to just hit the bullseye. If you can get the treble 20, then great. But the safest just go for the ball.
Safe is to go for the bullseye. Yeah.
The easy bullseye, yeah.
Elisha
Cuthbert comes in. She says, Dad, they're ready in the screening room. I thought we were going to watch First Kid today. First Kid mentioned.
First Kid mentioned. OMG. Oh my goodness grief.
First Kid exists in the world of this movie, so he really should know to be safer on the internet.
Yeah, he should, because that's a film well, maybe we don't know. I mean, no one's seen it. In the universe of Mail to the Chief, none of the characters have watched First Kid, if only they had.
That's true. They're all they've queued it up in only the president has a copy.
Yeah. In the next scene, Kenny's sort of pale and shaking, realising what he's done.
What he's done. He knows about the snake internet now. Yeah.
Dad? They're ready in the screening room. I thought we were going to watch First Kid today.
Oh, right. Dear, why don't you get started and I'll meet you up there. Oh, Madison, this is Kenny Witkowski. Kenny, my daughter Madison.
Hi. Teaching my dad how to bowl? Trying to. He said he wanted to learn so you guys could play sometime. Spend some time together. Well, you forgot, huh?
Yeah.
Why don't you get started? That's what all parents say when they either forgot or blowing their kids off. But we know.
I try to make it up to her. I mean, just last week I let her invite some friends to the state dinner for a private concert by John Tesh.
John Tesh? She likes John Tesh?
Well, I don't know. I do.
If you wanted to make it up to her, you should have invited somebody like Garbage.
Well, I don't know how that would look for me at a state dinner. I can just see the headlines. President has garbage in White House. I don't think so.
maybe Baby Some Money could play as well.
Some money could play as well, yeah.
I can see the headlines now. President has no money in White House.
Oh my God, no. It's unthinkable. It's too risky. The note I have at this point, oh my God, are garbage going to be in this film?
I never thought
Did you
that.
never think the garbage...
I never thought the garbage would be in this film.
Well, they're mentioned twice. It's like, can I go to the garbage concert? And then it's like, hey, if you really want to impress your daughter, you should do a show like someone like Garbage. And I know that at the end of this, the president is going to want to impress his daughter. That much I know for sure. And he's just said, if you want to impress your daughter, Garbage would be a good way of doing it. Yeah. And I'm like, oh my God, it's starting to feel conceivable that Garbage is going to be in this film.
Garbage could be in this movie, yeah.
Garbage is not going to be in this movie, of course. No. But the hope sustained me right up to the sort of like 84th minute when I realised it probably is now too late for Garbage to show up.
Garbage to appear and play us out, unfortunately.
Shirley Manson's not going to be helicoptered in and sort of
to save this film. No, unfortunately not.
Yeah. Okay. So having taught the president how to lead, bowl and parent, Kenny leaves. But first they grasp each other in friendship. But things are actually not at all well. In school, Mike catches up with Kenny and he's like, where the hell have you been? Yeah. Heather appears too and says, I bought our tickets to the dance. You can pay me back with that test that you're going to get me, remember? Mm-hmm. She asks Kenny to walk her home.
Kenny is lying to Mike about where he's been, by the way. He says he was at the arcade last night. No, you weren't, says Mike. I went there right after I called your house and then I drove around the neighbourhood all night looking for you in every corner and you weren't there.
Heather asks Kenny to walk her home and Mike, like every Disney Channel nerd friend ever, feels abandoned and sad by a friend who's suddenly become popular. Elsewhere, we see some random dudes in suits are getting briefed that the Russians are investigating warehouses. These are like I think it's the CIA. I'm not sure. It's unclear.
Yeah. It's the Intelligence Committee, I think. And why would the Russians be interested in a warehouse worker from Baltimore, asks the senator. Well, sir, it seems that President Osgood has entered the cyber age. This man delivers with the gravity that such a sentence deserves.
President Osgood has entered the cyber age. What do you mean? We never find out what... We don't find out what he means.
He's donned a Tron jumpsuit and he's walked into a sort of neon hellscape.
Oh my God. We don't find out what that is at all. At parents' evening, the principal offers his condolences to Kenny's mum. Oh, it's a PTA meeting, actually. The principal is like talking to mum and is like, oh, I was so sorry to hear about Kenny's Uncle Ozzy and that he needed like bone marrow transplants and blood transfusions and liver transplants and stuff.
And also your husband is on a business trip to Costa Rica. And she's like, what? End of scene.
Yeah.
We see Senator Harris now. He's asking the man from the Intelligence Committee earlier from the previous scene for the name of this Baltimore warehouse worker. He's like, I can't, it's national security. And he's like, don't give me that national security crap. I've got an election to win. And there's a debate in 5 minutes. We get the president being made up to go on TV. They're asking him, how is Harris's unemployment plan like the end of the first Star Wars movie? You know, relatable stuff.
Yeah.
And we see Kenny watching the debate.
Wait, hang on. How does it... Okay. We don't know what Harris's unemployment policy is. Like the end.
No.
Is his policy to give everyone who's unemployed a medal?
Well, the end of the first Star Wars movie is triumphant, right? They destroy the evil empire.
Yeah, there's a.
Well, they destroy the Death Star. Everyone gets a medal.
It's an award.
So I guess in this context, the Death Star is high unemployment.
Yeah. Well, no, but. You've got to remember that Osgood will want to annihilate Harris's.
Right.
So he can't go out there and say Harris's unemployment policies are like the end of Star Wars. Happy.
Okay, so in this context, in Osgood's context, the Death Star is the jobs market.
Yes.
And Harris his unemployment policy is the photon torpedo.
Yes.
That is fired from Luke Skywalker's X-wing down the exhaust chute.
Yes. Yeah. And it's going to destroy the current economic structure, which is the Death Star.
Yeah.
The Death Star that he's built over the last 3 years.
that he's built, yeah. And they're all going to give each other medals, but America is Chewbacca because they don't get a medal.
Oh, does Chewbacca not get a medal?
No.
I feel like I should know that.
Yeah.
Why doesn't Chewbacca get a medal?
I don't know, Wookiee racism,
I guess. Hang on. I have to check this. George Lucas explained... Oh, good.
Where would you put it? He's not got clothes.
A good start. Okay, so they're... Okay,
Braid
hang
it
on.
into his fur.
The bewildering saga of Chewbacca's missing medal. A 1974 George Lucas script draft of what was at that time called The Star Wars features the direction: Han presents Chewbacca and a delegation of Wookiees with a treaty, gifts, and a Medal of Honor. So he was supposed to get it in the original script. But then in an interview, George Lucas said Chewbacca wasn't given a medal because medals don't mean much to Wookiees. They don't put too much credence in them. They have different kinds of ceremonies.
Okay.
Right. Okay, so did they then do like a big Wookiee parade?
Yeah, they just didn't show that.
They just didn't show the Wookiee parade. Immediately after the medal ceremony, they were like, and now for the traditional sort of...
Okay. Apparently, in a comic book adaptation of Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope, on the final page of issue 6, it confirms that Chewbacca does get a medal for his role in blowing up the Death Star. It's just that Leia isn't tall enough to put it on him during the ceremony.
Okay.
So he's given it later.
Oh, wow.
She goes and gets a stepladder and puts it on him later. You just don't see it.
Oh, yeah. And okay, and there's another comic, a Star Wars Chewbacca comic, where Chewbacca has like a big adventure with a young girl, and then at the end, he gives her a medal, like a Yavin medal.
A Battle of Yavin medal.
A Battle of Yavin medal, and she's like, a medal? Thanks. Don't you want whatever this is? So, like, he did get one, but he sort of
doesn't want it.
Kept it, didn't like it, gave it to some girl. Okay.
Right, okay.
All right, there we go. We figured it out.
Problem solved. So the debate starts.
Sorry, that is just a perfect encapsulation of everything about Star Wars, isn't it? It's like a thing happens in 1976 when they're filming it or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, we've got to put a medal on the big dog one.
Yeah, don't worry. There'll be literally 4,000 pages of lore written about why that happened.
There'll be entire novelizations attempting to explain this blunder.
Oh, hang on. The person in the Greedo costume is wearing women's high heels. Should we put them in like appropriate boots? No, we'll just film them from the knees up. No one will see it. But what if any kind of behind the scenes set photos come out? Oh, it's all right. We'll write 4,000 pages of lore to explain why Greedo wears women's high heels.
The Star Wars solution is always to write 4,000 words.
4,000 pages of lore.
of canon lore to explain what's going on.
It's good stuff. So the debate starts. At the bowling alley, we see Kenny's dad say, Costa Rica, end of scene. Back to the debate. The president has the floor. He starts disrobing. Sorry we had to preempt the good shows tonight, he says, but we have problems and we must fix them together.
Oh, by the way, when he says, sorry we had to preempt the good shows tonight, everyone in the crowd erupts with laughter.
Rapturous laughter, yeah. So we get a kind of montage of the debate here, and this is where we really get to see President Osgood and Senator Harris's policies.
Yes.
So Harris thinks that rich people should pay more tax.
He says that the president's flat tax proposal is regressive and that the more someone earns, the more tax they should pay. Reasonable.
Yes. So Osgood disagrees. He says, it's like telling your kid the harder he works in the yard, the less allowance you're going to give him, displaying a child's understanding of tax policy.
Yeah.
This is roundly applauded.
Yes, everyone loves it because, hey, I have a child who works in the yard. Mm-hmm. I have a child a normal American, have a child who's in the yard right now.
Yeah.
Earning, sweeping up leaves or whatever. He's relating to me.
The montage continues. Consumer price index, shouts Harris. Applause.
This is... The tax thing, I have to say, is particularly annoying.
Yeah. Because
we haven't really mentioned this because it's not that important, I suppose. But Kenny comes from a working class family, right? There's not a big house. Dad works in a warehouse.
In a factory. Blue collar job.
Yeah, blue collar job. They probably should vote for Harris so that billionaires get taxed and Harris can do the sort of social platforms that he mentioned. But the guy who wants to keep the rich is doing memes and relatable comedy and making Kenny help him and being like, Kenny, help me sort of torpedo this guy who wants to tax the rich. So that
Kenny, help me disadvantage your family economically. Yeah, and Kenny's
Kenny,
can
help
do
me
press.
keep dangling the carrot of wealth in front of your father, the American dream carrot that he can keep chasing forever.
Yeah. Well, speaking of carrots, where do they stand on farm subsidies, you're wondering? Harris thinks that farm subsidies should increase 32%. Osgood says, why should we continue to pay farmers to grow food no one wants to eat?
Whoa.
It's like cooking up a second batch of spinach when your kids have already shoveled the first batch under the table to the dog. This is roundly applauded.
Yeah, everyone loves it because at home they all have dogs that eat food under the floor. And Osgood's talking about dogs like they have a dog. But what he's actually saying is, should we punish American farmers for growing food, quote, nobody wants to eat?
Who wants to eat? It's surprisingly easy to justify any illiberal policy decision with down-home similes, isn't it?
Yeah.
Why shouldn't we imprison all Americans in a high-security laser prison? That's like letting your chickens run around outside the hen house and being surprised when a fox gets them.
Hey, there you go. There you go. You did it.
High-security laser prison.
This movie is like the alt-right playbook.
It unfortunately is.
Unfortunately, yeah. Yeah, and it's just so disappointing. The movie's like, hey, kids, engage with politics. But what it means is engage with the sort of like televised popularity contest side of it.
Surface level soundbite memification.
Yeah, engage. What you should engage with is the fact that it's a big competition that you can win and someone else can lose.
Yeah.
You know, like help me win over this other dude. I don't know.
Yeah, Harris seems to be like, if we don't increase farms, if we
think too much about this film,
I don't know. If we don't increase farm subsidies, all these farms are going to fail, and all these farmers are going to be out of work, and then all this farmland will be, become a dust bowl. And Harris is like, no, and also spinach on the floor like your dog eats, and everyone's like, yeah. I don't know much about farm subsidies, but I think that it should be given more consideration than just what Harris is doing here.
Yeah. Also,
sorry,
I suspect that American farmers aren't growing food nobody wants to eat. I think what he's trying to say is like, hey, why should I pay a spinach farmer money for spinach when I love delicious cheese puffs like you, Americans?
What he's saying is that the government, and again, he is the government. He's the sitting president.
Yes,
but what he's saying is the government is paying farmers subsidies to grow this stuff, but then no one wants it after it's grown, so it's a waste of money. But again, he is the person doing that because he's the sitting president.
Yes, you're doing that. Like, baffling. I don't know. It's baffling.
So the president's aides are like, man, he is killing this. But then they look over at Harris's team. They don't look worried. Why? The president says, if we stay the course, my advisors predict the stabilizing of interest rates over the next 6 months. So these wildly out of control interest rates that he's been overseeing.
Done. Yeah.
He's like, they'll settle down probably.
Yeah.
Senator Harris, your response, says the moderator. Your advisors, Mr. President. Do these advisors that make these complex decisions, do they contain someone whose identity you're trying to keep secret from the American people?
Oh, my God.
Is it true you've been taking advice from a complete stranger you met while anonymously cruising cyberspace chat rooms? Says Harris in flawless leet speak.
Harris goes on to say that this mysterious, quote, 40-year-old from Baltimore, Maryland, has no political experience or expertise, and under pressure, the president must respond to these allegations. There is a long pause. Kenny watches from home, visibly excited that he might be about to be publicly acknowledged for his work.
Yeah, the president chuckles. That is 100% not true, he says. I was not and am not taking advice from any anonymous 40-year-old Baltimore resident. Kenny calls his family in. Mom, Dad, you're going to want to see this, he says. And then nothing happens.
And then absolutely nothing happens, yeah. So I guess what Osgood has done here is, I think it's quite suspicious the way he says, I was not and am not taking policy advice from any anonymous 40-year-old Baltimore resident. It's like, okay, a lot of qualifiers in that.
Very specific.
Very specific, yeah. But yeah, he's sort of denied it, but in denying it, he's sort of eliminated Kenny's contribution.
That's right.
And erased him.
In the motorcade afterwards, the presidential team discuss this disaster. Cut to the chase, Tom, says the president. You took some hits. He's called Tom. There we go. They've named him.
Tom.
You took some hits. You dropped a few points in the polls, but you're still up 5. We're a week until the election. And then Catherine says, you got to sit on the lead and play it safe.
Yeah.
We cut to Kenny. He's catatonic. His parents come in yelling, looking for him. They found out that he's been skipping school. And his mum says, who's been writing those notes about your Uncle Ozzy? The CIA, says Kenny. Are you on drugs, Mr. Rorsdad? No, I would never do that, says Kenny.
Eugene Witkowski! What?
Don't what me, young man. Your mother just came from a PTA meeting where she found out you have been skipping school.
Who's been writing you all those notes, Kenny? You? Mikey?
The CIA.
Are you on drugs, mister?
What? No, I would never do that. Look, I told you. I've been going to the White House to speak with the president.
The White House?
Yeah. He gave me a beeper. Oh, Jack, it is drugs! Mom! Dad, you have to listen to me. I'm telling the truth. Look, we went down to his basement to go bowling, and he's got this old desk from some dead British lady in his office. Look, I can prove it. Ask for the president. Tell him it's me.
You think this is funny?
We're sorry. Your call cannot be completed as dialed. If you feel you have reached this recording in error,
But-
please check the number.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Kenny tries again. He asks for the White House switchboard, who, of course, don't believe him. He's been disavowed by the president, and his parents don't believe him. So he's grounded.
No television, no computer, and no friends over until you decide to tell us what's going on. It's school and your room.
Oh, dear. Getting off the bus at school, Heather meets Kenny with a peck on the cheek and is like, well, how about those secret tests, eh? Kenny stammers his excuses. He doesn't have it. He's been grounded, no computers, etc. She's livid and says, the dance, I won't be able to go with you after all. Things are getting worse and worse for Kenny.
Things are getting worse for Kenny.
And
then civics class. His presentation is due today. He head desks because he hasn't done it because he's been too busy Skyping the president. In the hall, bully Greg approaches Kenny, and at rock bottom with nothing to lose, Kenny flips out at him, yelling at him and screaming at him and saying, What do you want? What now? Mike nods appreciatively at him crashing out in front of everyone. This is good.
This is good. So Greg retreats, cowed, not wanting to be murdered by Kenny.
Yeah.
And a tearful Kenny stomps off. Mike follows stealthily and he sees Kenny go into the school administrator's office and sneakily use her computer. In the Oval Office, the president is at his computer with Catherine Horner when a message comes in. Big Jack W. says the following, bleep, bleep, bleep. I thought you were my friend.
Yeah.
He goes to reply, but Horner stops him. No, sir. For all we know, Harris is intercepting this.
Yeah.
I have to go think, says the president, and walks off all sad, like doing the sort of Peanuts sad walk from Arrested Development.
Yeah, but it's weird. Romantic music is sort of playing in the background.
Yeah, it's kind of...
I think it's supposed to be sad, but...
I know, it's that bit in a rom-com where, they're like, oh, I guess we can't be together before the chase to the airport. So back in school, Mike distracts the administrator who's coming back to her office, which gives Kenny time to escape before he's caught cruising cyberspace on her computer. Thanks, buddy, says Kenny. What are friends for, says Mike, and Kenny apologizes for being a jerk.
Yeah, and a liar, says Mike. What were you doing in there? You wouldn't believe me if I told you, says Kenny. Try me, says Mike, a true friend.
We cut to the presidential bowling lane. The president is bowling well. Madison is here. She sort of teleports in and she bonds a bit with Dad over how he's doing better at bowling now. He bowls in a melancholy way though and gets a 7-10 split.
He bowls in a way that seems to say that he has lost the trust of his 13-year-old best friend.
Yeah. He tells Madison what Kenny told him about a 7-10 split, how you can play it safe and try and get one pin down, or go for broke and try to slide the 7 into the 10 and pick up the spare. He tells Madison that he learned this all from Kenny and looks sad.
He helped you a lot, didn't he, says Madison.
Says Madison, who has to parent her own father. Says the president, all sad. Well, call him and tell him. I can't, says the president and does a huge sigh.
Yeah.
It's complicated. Sad face.
Yeah.
Madison tells him to often leaves the family. No, she doesn't. She tells him that he can play it safe or go for broke.
Yeah.
And the president bowls, looking resolute.
Yeah.
Then we cut to the school cafeteria.
Matthew Cox, the hated school president, is giving a
school
speech.
president boy Matthew Cox.
Little princeling Matthew Cox.
Yeah. He's making
He
more
says that
appeals
he
for his
plans to
campaign.
shorten school days and extend summer vacation, which I'm pretty sure he absolutely cannot do.
Yeah.
Mike believes Kenny about his relationship with the president. I've known you since first grade and I am your best friend. Also, you disappeared at the White House for like 3 hours and the alternative is that you were being molested. So honestly, this is kind of a relief, he says.
He says most of that. He says, well, I guess your dad was right, eh, Kenny? Politicians are all the same. Or are they?
Can't trust them.
Nope.
None of them.
New sweaters for the varsity pep club.
There's nothing we can do to change things.
Maybe. But then maybe we can.
What?
Olympic
Hey,
size
Matt,
swimming.
how do new sweaters for the varsity pep club help any of us? I mean, how does that benefit anyone with your rich kid friends in the club? And this promise to shorten the school day, how are you, a student, going to do that? Give us details, not promises. What are you going to promise next year? A taco stand in the hallway? A dome stadium for the football team? Why don't you talk about something you could do, like raising money for a student computer in the library? Or talking to the janitor about fixing the lockers?
Kenny, why don't we go down to the go-kart tracks where we can talk this over?
No, the problems are here at our school. We're not electing president of the go-kart track. We're electing our class president.
That was a good example, listener, of the way that crowds homogeneously respond to any sentences in this film.
Yeah.
Like
Crowds are
sort of-
so easily swayed.
Yeah.
So yeah, Kenny is now fired up by school politics, and Matthew Cox is going to get his ass kicked in the election.
Outside, for some reason, the civics teacher is being interviewed on the news about his award.
I'd interview them about this award. It's obviously haunted. It's spewing
exploded
black
with
ichor
ichor. Yeah.
in every direction.
Then
It's having some kind of cursed certificate here.
we're here. We came down to Davidson High, where a local teacher has come into possession of a cursed artifact.
He says that he didn't get to meet the president, and they're like, man, I can't believe we scrambled our news crews for this. This is boring. But then they hear the cheering from inside, and they're like, what's that? A news story, I hope. And they run off in the direction of it.
Yeah. In the cafeteria, Kenny tells Matthew Cox that without all of them, he's not the president at all. Rapturous applause. I'm sick of complaining that you don't do anything for me. I'm going to do something about it. Like what? Scoffs Matthew Cox. Like vote. For who? I'm running unopposed, he says. And then a kid gets to their feet and shrieks, I nominate Kenny for president! And then the kids all stand. The news is here getting blistering footage of the political downfall of the boy Matthew Cox.
The news is here, having barged into a school and filming all the children.
Filming all the children. Well, to be fair, this is the political death of Matt Cox. This is huge.
This is huge.
This is huge.
Matt Cox is going to be hanged in the school square.
Needless to say, this news report of a local boy deciding to run for class president has made prime time, because we cut to the news report of a boy announcing his plan to run for class president being watched in the president's car.
In the president's limo. His speechwriter is getting all of this down. Kenny gives an inspiring speech about how he'll fight even for the 9th graders who are leaving next year and the 7th graders who can't vote, brackets question mark.
So hang on. So it's only the 8th and 9th graders who can vote in this election?
I think so.
Right. So Kenny will listen to the 7th and 9th graders, even though the only vote that can meaningfully help him is the 8th graders. Got it.
I think.
The newsreader, they can't devote enough airtime to this boy decides to be politician.
There's a news anchor giving like commentary on this, and like it's treated like a proper news story when what it is a news crew burst into a local school when some kids were having a political debate in the lunchroom.
Yeah, and filmed what was happening. So the newsreader quotes Kenny, I realise that if I don't care about student government, why should I be surprised that student government doesn't care about me?
Yeah, the president can't believe this. This is dynamite.
I know. Catherine Horner snarks about Kenny's move to listen to people who can't vote for him and his eye rolling and stuff.
Tom says it shows guts running for student president with all the other problems he's facing. Kenny appears to be the main topic of conversation for every branch of government at this point. What problems, asks the president. Oh, nothing, says Catherine. Okay, fine. He's grounded, he's flunking civics class, and everyone thinks he's a liar. Also, he lost his date, says speechwriter Greg.
This is all because he tried to help me out, the president says ruefully, as the motorcade reaches its destination. As Horner gets out the car, she says, you're running neck and neck with Harris, so no chances out there. But as soon as the aides are out of the car, the president slams the door and the limo squeals away. It looks very much like the president's been kidnapped by his driver.
But also, this is like the language of a romantic comedy. I'm sorry.
Yes,
but
no, it is,
like,
because he's doing a dash to the airport. That's literally
it's
what
a dash
he's doing.
to the airport.
Yeah, against the advice of everyone, he's like, no, I know my heart. So the president drives to Kenny's house, holds a big stereo outside his window. He's chased all the way by the press. So they're at Kenny's house now. He addresses reporters on the lawn who are sort of already massed and swarmed. Sorry for the detour, he says. I'm sure you're wondering why I'm here and just where here is. Well, I'll answer all your questions in just a second.
Yeah.
And he goes up to the door and knocks on it. Dad answers. His eyes fly wide. Can Kenny come outside? Says the president. Dad slams the door.
Dad says that he's grounded, and the president says, as president, I pardon your son. Now can he come outside?
Now can he come outside and play with me? So Dad closes the door and calls down Kenny. The president peers through the little window in the door like a sort of haunted goblin and sort of like peers in like a Victorian, as the family are all sort of bickering. Kenny storms down the stairs.
Victorian ghost,
yeah. He sees the president through the window and goes, oh, this prick, I don't want to talk to him. Mum says if Kenny doesn't want to talk to the president, then he shouldn't have to. So I guess Kenny's not coming out. So the president walks back to the media and offers the following baffling address.
Kenny is an 8th grader at Davidson Middle School. And I wanted to tell him that I'm sorry. Truth is, I was embarrassed to admit that I, the President of the United States, was taking advice from a 13-year-old. But in the words of a very wise politician, I'm paraphrasing, you have to listen to everybody, not just the ones who can vote for you. I guess I forgot that I'm supposed to uphold the Constitution by the people, for the people, and all the people, period. Kenny helped me remember. So if the people of this country still see fit to re-elect me as their president on Tuesday, I'll still be listening to citizens like Kenny Witkowski.
Yeah, we want to get this later.
A gamble, you say? Sure. But we need to start taking chances again. This country was founded on chances, not the status quo. We became America because we were sick and tired of the status quo. So let's go for it again. Like going for that 7-10 split in bowling. A lot of people may say that I made a bad political decision by coming here today. Well, I think I made a pretty good people decision. Thank you.
You got my vote. That is, if I was old enough to vote.
Then I'll vote for him for you.
Me too. I think I'm still registered.
Okay. I don't think the president has done a good enough job of giving context as to like why he's here.
His
or what.
relationships with his 13-year-old boy.
What's that? No. Also, I question how good it is to hear the president saying, I guess I forgot to uphold the Constitution, and saying things like, I think I made a pretty good people decision. What do you mean, the president? I think I made a pretty good people decision. Okay, good. I guess I'll vote for you then. I guess I forgot to uphold the Constitution. All right. Might not vote for you then.
No, because it's sort of the main point of your job.
Yeah.
Being the president of the United States. I find it so gross the way that Dad, who is a blue-collar factory worker and like doesn't engage with politics and thinks that the president doesn't respect or like appreciate him or like address the real problems in his life.
Yeah.
The second the president turns up at his door, is like fawning and bowing at him like he's the king of England or something. He's like, oh, my liege, my liege.
Yeah. Exactly.
I'll vote for you, of course. You have my vote in the election.
I didn't realise I was going to meet a famous.
Yeah.
Wow. Now this has changed everything. Yeah, it's
gross.
It's.
But also,
anyway.
this speech would be the end of President Osgood politically. I'm sorry, but
you would hope so.
Sorry, you did what? You've done what?
Yeah.
Why are you? You're supposed to be the third presidential debate right now.
Yeah.
And instead, you're on the lawn of this boy.
Lawn of a boy.
You appear to be in love with.
It's sort of like saying how this boy has been helping me with the campaign, I guess. And then Kenny at the end, obviously, then there came out and was like, "You've got my vote," and the rest of the family say that they're going to vote. So this scene absolutely relies on Randy Quaid's all-American presidential tenor to carry this. What the words are saying are, people will say, literally everyone will say, and are saying, that I made a terrible decision by talking to this boy online, and then by bringing the media to his house uninvited and rambling incoherently on the lawn about how ashamed I feel.
About my relationship with this boy.
What the president has done is he's mostly assembled people on the lawn to talk about the deep shame he feels.
Meanwhile, Harris is doing the debate unopposed. On national television,
which is televised. Okay. So the presidential debates, they're shown live, and they kind of have to be shown, don't they? It's like a sort of. It's like, I don't know if it's like a legal obligation, but it always happens. So what is actually airing on American TV right now? Are they showing the debate, or are they showing the president sort of like breaking down and talking about shame on a boy's lawn?
On one channel, you've got Harris laying out his platform unopposed.
Yeah.
And if you switch over, you've got Osgood crashing out on this boy's lawn, throwing stones at his window and saying, "Please come out and talk to me."
And then they come out and say, "You've got my vote." And it's like, right, okay. So it seems like Osgood decided to spend the last presidential debate making sure that he'd secured the vote of these two adults by going to their house.
Their son can't vote. Yeah.
Anyway,
he goes up to Kenny and he shakes his hand and he says, "I hope I didn't get you in too much trouble. I am flunking civics class," says Kenny. "I'll make a call," says the president. "This has got to be worth some extra credit." And they all laugh. The press are eating this up.
So there's a little coda to the film. We crossfade elegantly to the presidential motorcade pulling up to the school dance that was mentioned, where, of course, Kenny steps out of the car with the president's daughter. He has a my date with the president's daughter.
That's right. He leaves the limo in a suit. He's accompanied by Madison, his new consort. "Thank you, Mr. Class President," she says romantically. A banner behind them reads, "Welcome to the fall dance with Garbage as our special guest," in like Comic Sans.
Oh my gosh. So Garbage are kind of in the film.
Garbage are inside that building just behind them. We don't see them, but they're in there.
No, but we know they're definitely in there. And we fade out over a rock cover of that "I'm Just a Bill" song.
Yeah.
The cover is by Deluxe Folk Implosion, apparently.
It's the sort of thing a 55-year-old screenwriter would love to reference. It's like a 1976 segment from a show called Schoolhouse Rock.
Yes, that's right. I only know it from, it's in The Simpsons. And
it's parodied in The Simpsons,
It's parodied all the time. Okay.
"Maybe we can get Garbage to play at your dad's inauguration," says Kenny. So it seems as if President Osgood was re-elected thanks to his good campaign that was focused mostly on 13-year-old boys.
Collapsing in shame on the lawn of a 13-year-old boy. And rambling about how he failed to uphold the Constitution.
Harris is like, "I think we should tax the rich." And Osgood's like, "I feel shame for my relationship with this boy." And America was like, "That one."
Well, that was that.
That was that.
I want to leave you with so this whole film is on YouTube. I want to leave you with this YouTube comment from 7 years ago. "Today it would be a movie titled Tweet from the Chief or something like that."
Oh my God. Yes, it probably would, wouldn't it?
Probably would be called Tweet from the Chief.
Okay. I would just like to read the other comment on this this video. Well, there are 4 comments. But the other comment I enjoyed from Clean Xbox 882, WTF, I just saw my dad.
Okay.
So...
Right.
Good.
Okay. All right. Someone's dad was in this. Okay. So there you go. That was Mail to the Chief. I found it both boring and reprehensible.
Yeah.
I think it really... Also, like, we should just make absolutely clear, nothing, like the thing with the Russians and the Chinese is nothing.
That's nothing.
More annoying than that, the Zimmer bill is nothing. They just
Zimmer bill
stop
also
mentioning
nothing.
it. And that's really frustrating because that's the thing that ties to the film's kind of internet chat room, cyber, like internet discourse, isn't it? Because
it ties into the wider problem this film has, which is that the president learns nothing really.
Yes.
Throughout this film. It's like being on the internet doesn't give him any insight into the Zimmer bill.
No.
All of the stuff that Kenny tells him doesn't really change like any of his policies. It just gives him sound bites to make himself appealing to the voters.
Yeah.
But we don't see him adopt any kind of meaningful policy change based on like Kenny's family's situation or anything like that. He doesn't go to their house and go, wow, I never realized what life is like for a blue collar Baltimore worker. I should tax the rich. His boss is on his eighth Bahamian vacation this year while he can't even afford to buy the cheese puffs that he likes.
Yeah.
Man, maybe wealth inequality is something that's real.
He wouldn't even need to say anything as bold and as shocking as wealth inequality is real. He could say like, well, Mr. Kenny's dad, maybe there's something we can do about that. You know?
Yeah.
He could just sort of like imply that like, yes, the system is going to work for this family. But it doesn't.
No.
It doesn't do anything like that. Kenny's just sort of unwittingly helped keep the rich and
It's
stuff.
like the end of the first Star Wars movie.
It is a lot like the end of the first Star Wars movie. Yeah. Kenny
America
gets a
doesn't get
medal, but Greg doesn't.
Yeah.
Greg? Fully Greg. Yeah. Okay.
Anyway,
that was that. The Zimmer. They should have mentioned the Zimmer bill because the Zimmer bill is about like the content of the Zimmer bill is like
specifically about deepfake pornography of Rosie O'Donnell. I think.
But then why mention it like 5 times? Another problem with this movie is that the whole conceit is like that you're sort of messaging with the president, which is fun, but that stops.
You're mailing to the chief.
You're mailing to the chief, but that stops happening at about the 35-minute mark because
That's what
that's
you get for not mailing to the chief.
Yes, hang on. No, you already had yours last episode.
Okay, fine.
You can't do it again. That's what you get for not mailing to the chief. Right, there we go. Now it's fair. About a third of the way into this film, they stop IMing and start meeting in the Oval Office, which is less fun and less interesting and less kind of, fun. It's less fun to watch because it's fun to look at old computers typing chat rooms.
You know what else would have been fun and what I was expecting to happen was for their relationship to carry on for a while without either of them realizing the other's real situation. But Kenny tells the president that he's 13 instantly, the first time they message each other.
Yeah. And then almost straight after, he finds out that he's got talking to the president.
Yeah. I mean, string that out for like at least half the movie, and then it becomes a sort of fun tension. Whereas it
should be the dip. The dip should the 60-minute dip should be, oh my gosh, you've been lying to me this whole time. You should have said you were the president. You've been lying to me this whole time. You should have said you were just some kid. Mm-hmm. Anyway,
but no, they just sort of get rid of that potential interesting wrinkle in the story so they can do more. I was going to say so they could do more, but I can't think of what they did more. They did nothing.
They did nothing. Yeah. Okay, let me read you an email, Andy.
Yes, please.
On the subject of Toothless, we've had many emails about Toothless and Avalon High, actually. Really resonating with the listenership, but I wanted to read this one from Grace. Hope you're well. Just listened to the most recent episode of Mum Can't Cook, and it stirred a very old, very bitter memory about the Tooth Fairy. During my primary school years, I was running around the playground when I tripped over. This knocked my wobbly tooth loose, and it went flying across the tarmac. I immediately began searching for it, worried that my chances for, let's be honest, about 50p were quickly vanishing. Finally, when I was about to give up hope, one of the older kids shouted that he'd found a tooth. Sure enough, it was mine. But when I asked for it back, he invoked the ancient words finders keepers. Legally, there was nothing I could do. My hands were tied. But there was one being I could still rely on. The Tooth Fairy would surely recognise this scoundrel's chicanery, and justice would be mine. The next morning, I went back to the thief, certain that his misdeeds had come to nothing. Instead, I found him flaunting a £5 note that the Tooth Fairy had left him. £5. It was then that I learned the tooth fairy is a cutthroat who doesn't give a single solitary about where these teeth are coming from. All she cares about is meeting her quota and clocking out at the end of the night. I believe this lesson formed me into the person I am today. Wishing you lots of love and teeth, Grace. Thanks, Grace, for that email.
Sorry about your £5.
Well, I mean, Grace, I do wonder, the thing about your story that really resonated with me wasn't so much that the tooth fairy robbed you, was that this mysterious other child, their parents found a tooth that wasn't theirs under their pillow and were like, oh, seems like our son has a tooth.
I don't know if my parents paid that close attention to the contents of my mouth that I couldn't come home with a tooth and tell them I'd lost it.
Oh, fair enough. It also implies that, I guess, because but the parents know when a tooth is wobbly, right? It's like, oh, there's a wobbly tooth, like, the tooth fairy thing will be happening. Oh, maybe, I don't know. That's a lot. Actually, you know what? To be fair, it's a lot of teeth you have in your mouth, isn't it?
That is a lot of teeth. 28 or whatever.
£5. Should we just calculate how much this kid made? So you've got how many teeth? How many baby teeth do you have?
Well, a normal person or you?
A normal person, 20. Okay. So normally it's 20 times 5, but it's actually 21, isn't it? So
okay, £105.
£105. £105.
Yeah.
In the olden days.
That's like £1 million in today's money.
Sorry, Grace. I don't mean to imply that the olden days was your childhood. But, I mean like this, whatever, the 90s or whatever, probably. Okay.
It's not like Mr. Darcy has 10,000 a year.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, well, thank you very much for that, Grace. If you have any insight into the American political system, then
please run for office.
Then there are so many more important things you could be doing than emailing our podcast. But if you've done all those and you still have some time in your day, why not email momcan'tcookpod@gmail.com and let us know what you thought of Mail to the Chief. Let us know what you think of its representation of American politics. Because look, Andy and I are not from America. Andy knows an awful lot about American history and American politics. Did a degree in it. But maybe you have some insight you could share from political sentiments at the time.
We would love to hear it. If you would like more episodes of Mum Can't Cook, many of them exist over on patreon.com/extra helpings.
Yep.
That's right. In the off weeks when you don't get an episode of this podcast, we have episodes of Extra Helpings where we're currently recapping the Disney adjacent supernatural TV kids show Erie, Indiana.
It's a wild ride.
Yeah, we're quite a way into it now. We know all the characters. The running jokes are emerging. They're horrifying. And it's a really good time. Plus, we also have 3 seasons of So Weird, which was another kids X-Files show featuring a touring family band that is one of our favourite things as well. So if you want to hear all that, you can check it out at patreon.com/extra helpings. We also have additional tiers where you can join us for live watch-alongs and get your name in the credits if you fancy that.
The live watch-alongs are so fun. We really, really enjoy them, doing them every month. They are such a blast. It's so nice to just watch the films and not have to pause them every 5 seconds to write down the insane thing that just happened.
Yeah, it's great. It's a good time.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Oh, merch. We got merch as well. Go to momcan'tcookmerch.com and check out some of our sick designs. Maybe
a lot of great stuff over there. Get a cool t-shirt inspired by our episodes on A Ring of Endless Light, Mouse Hunt, and others.
All right. What are we going to do next, Andy? What decom are we going to do next?
Well, Luke, we're not going to do a decom next because, as we established with our Mouse Hunt episode, we get wild cards, and I'm invoking my wild card, Luke.
You're playing your wild card?
I'm playing my wild card. Yeah, that's
my gosh.
right. And
can we get a sound effect?
Yeah, probably.
There it is.
Okay,
there it is.
Thanks, Beth.
Wow.
Yes, so our next episode will be on 1995's Congo.
No! Congo!
Yeah, that's
Congo!
right. It's basically Mouse Hunt with an ape, or a series of evil apes. So, if you've not seen Congo, it's based on a Michael Crichton novel.
Oh my god!
It's about
do Congo. I don't believe
it's about evil apes. Tim Curry is in it. I love it. And
Tell me,
we're going to be.
Who does Tim Curry play?
I don't know if I want to spoil the reveal of his character's name.
Oh right, okay, yeah, fine.
Yeah, he's doing an accent.
Okay,
and while it's not supposed to be Russian. I think he is doing the same accent he does in Command & Conquer Red Alert 3, so that's good as well. I'm now going to read you the description from IMDb.
Yes, please.
When an expedition to the African Congo ends in disaster, a new team is assembled to find out what went wrong. All right, bury the lead.
Okay. It was nominated for 7 Golden Raspberry Awards, including Worst Picture. And the poster, I'm looking at the poster now, Congo, where you were the endangered species. And I'm looking at it, the poster is an ape's face. The ape looks sort of sad but cross, and overlaid is a load of code, like sort of like computer code, and I can pick out the words "now human attack." Okay, so from which I infer someone is programming apes to attack humans.
Yeah. Also,
okay, I'm very excited.
The lost city of Zinj.
Zinj. Okay. Yeah. All right, this is going to be good. Right. I mean, it's Michael Crichton.
Yeah.
This is 1 year after...
probably Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park. It's 1 year after Jurassic Park. Or is it even the same year? What was Jurassic Park? Was it 94 or 95?
1993, Jurassic Park.
Oh, right. Okay. So, yes. So this was probably sort of rushed through.
Yeah, rushed through
when
production.
It was becoming... Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Okay, so look forward to our thoughts on Congo in the next episode.
Next time. Oh, right, Andy, I've got to go because I've just received an anonymous message from Mickey Blue Eyes. And Eyes is spelt E-I-S brackets N-E-R.
I've received a message from Behind Blue Eisner. I don't know if that's... Let me see.
Michael Eisner with dozens of sock puppet accounts.
Sock puppet accounts to DM people. Well, let's see what he's got to say for himself.
Yeah, go on.
Oh, he says he wants advice on whether or not he should open a Disney park in Paris.
Okay.
I'm going to say yes. Yes, do it. It's a good idea. All right. Oh no, he says it's gone badly wrong. He says he already did that 30 years ago.
He's asking, should he open another one?
He's opened a second one next door. Now that he doesn't work at Disney, he's going to open Eisnerland next door. He's learned nothing. You've learned nothing, Michael. Well, Luke, it's time to log in to World Chat, as we always do after each episode, and see what podcasting advice we're getting from all the sort of down-home regular folks who are helping get us out of our elite podcasting bubble.
Yeah, right. Okay. This should help. This should help.
Okay, we've got some usernames here. Jack Fabian, Andrea Pallas, Adam Snig, David Orment, Michael Saul, Ben from Finance, Ma H, Adam Cuddy Ralph, Business Corgi, and Homemade Mask. They're saying, have we tried being a celebrity and interviewing all our celebrity friends? No, we haven't. That's good advice, isn't it?
Okay, yeah, let's do that. Let's become celebrities and get friends. Okay, well, what's here in the old inbox? It's Michael Hayden, Kyle Bain, Book Goblin Richard Martin recommends Thoughts TV podcast, Chase Baker, Anna Petahova, Alan St. George, Jambo Number 5, Adam Steele, Zora Stingray, and Give Me Gravity Rip or Give Me Death. They've recommended that we be an already established British comedian and we interview our personal trainers.
Oh,
that could work.
That is good.
Just me and my person. We just, we could sort of just chat about fitness and lifestyle.
So that's a sort of comedy and fitness. It's like two genres in one. That's awesome.
The kind of thing Sky TV would sponsor.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's have a look at this from username The Monk, Will Hutner, Sam Rowland, Adi Muller, Keith Hall, Jax the Protogen, Tim Craven, Clarky the Bearded Coach Driver, Ben the Bar Guy, and Who Needs to Sleep. They say it seems pretty simple to them. Stop doing recaps of children's films from 30 years ago that are longer than the actual movies themselves. All right. Well, it's easy to say, isn't it? Easy to say.
I'd take it under advisement. Brody Tyrell, Kate Tweedy, Crescentia Che, The Shunned Mr. Tato, Carl Clev, Hypermole, Nurse Jake, Sarah Maddox, Chris Pryor, and Lucas Johnson. They say cut down on the horse corpse stuff. Okay. All right. We'll try one episode with no horse corpse removal.
All right.
And then we'll see if that episode is more popular. And if it's not,
fine.
It's going to be a lot more horse corpse chat.
Oh, new I am here from Jeebus Piers Jones. Luke's blind insensitivity towards sad graveyard angels. The dismayed 73% opacity face of Walt Disney. This episode of Bluey is called The Reaper. Sage, Smash Savannah Burger Boys and Girl. Autumn Holloway, Hef, Andy Meany, and Eclair, they say that they ain't no fancy big city podcasters, but it seems to them like we could talk less about ATMs to jack you off. All right, now you're being ridiculous.
Okay, look. Now you've gone too far. Ian Admire, Daniel Rogers, Minnie, Phil Stevens, Snowy Owl, Clintana Lopez, Blake, Alex and Daisy and Bailey too, Paul Stokes and Ash. They've suggested that we implement I can't believe what I'm reading here, that we implement some kind of sort of policy about what usernames are allowed to be in the credits at the end of our podcast.
Come on now.
I don't know. I don't think we're at that point yet, are we? No.
I don't think so.
No.
Oh, here's a new IM from Danny Cap, Will Thomas, Z-Man, Angel Beat, Cara Dennison, Matt S, Will Pohoretsky, Simon Ganzel, Rai Medema, and Elizabeth. They say that they're just simple, down-home country folk, but to their mind, we could maybe throw in some advice about the stock market and managing wealth growth.
Oh, that could be good. That could be good. Okay, well here, what's this? This is coming in from One Wanged Angel, Julian Rundlet, Quinn is Teething, All Dentists Go to Hell, Danny Bowyer, Mike Kavanagh, Liz L, Dave Goddard, Sea Hunter, an Irish femboy unloads a double barrel into an ATM, and they suggest, why don't you simply sell your podcast to Spotify for millions?
Oh, that is good.
That's a good
That's good,
idea.
and that's also wealth advice that counts as.
That is also wealth advice. And also, me making a joke about that doesn't preclude me from actually literally doing it in the future if such an offer were to come in.
Yes, that's great. All right.
Okay,
another one here from Sean and the Supple Alabaster Hands, Hannah Kirchner, Moist Drippings, Luke in the Hat, Duchess, America's Next Top Weirdness Experiencing Man, Jotham Fonclara, Tilly Everoa, Christoph, and Bluey's Beautiful Bloated Corpse.
What?
They've said here in their IM that their mum has always told them that seriously, could we be a celebrity and interview other celebrities? Because pretty sure that's going to be the only kind of podcast that's left. Which, yeah, good advice.
This message comes in from Purple Disarray, Mr. Wilson, the Happy Ending ATM, Crapolio, R Book Monster, Michael Olson, Lord of the Salt Doctrine, John Sharplin, Andrew the Osteogent, E.T., Courtney Rail, and a worthless 500-year-old pot. And their message simply says, Conan? ?
Oh,
that's okay.
The Barbarian.
Yes.
Love that guy. Get him on.
Do an episode on Conan the Barbarian.
Yeah, interview him about the Hyborian Age.
Yeah.
And what it's like there.
He probably knows about horse corpse removal.
That's
probably
true.
Battlefields littered with them.
Yeah, he knows all about that. All right, and finally here we have one from an S. Mayo and a Mark K. They say, stay out of the podcasting biz if you know what's good for you. Oh, come on.
What?
That's not, I'm deleting that.
Yeah.
All right, here it is, the actual last message. It's from Corwis, come back here, you gremlins. Chestnut, Tony B, Big Bro Bronk Bonks Moody Mommy Molly, Danny Ward, Louise Lola, Ethan Pearson, and Andy's parents' travelling chip salesman. A little homespun wisdom here. They say maybe review new films that are popular. All right, deleting that. Don't need that.
No thanks.
Delete.
No thanks. No
Right,
thanks.
okay. Armed with our new knowledge, let's go and have the most successful podcast ever.
Yeah. Oh no, the next episode is about Congo.